Hello. Happy birthday, chat. Oh, I forgot to turn my camera on. Hello. I don't know if I have a favorite meme. What's your favorite meme? Hello, Blackout. How long I can stay, so I have to go to work very early tomorrow. Good thing is this is only a couple hours long, this CitizenCon, so. Happy birthday, Tim. Yeah, I don't know if I have favorite memes. It's also, memes used to be more of a thing back in the day, you know? Now it's like, this is just a new meme every day, you know? CitizenCon time. Wait. Let me take my glasses off because I get a lot of reflection here and I want to see this. Oh, this is the tough thing, is like I have to watch on this monitor. And then the whole time my face is going to be sideways instead of like looking over here. Is there a way for me, instead of doing this, to move this over here and do window capture and then just try to size it right? I have to like guess the size. I had my birthday. Yes, hey avocado. Let me see if I can, instead of doing this. What the fuck is it? Okay. We do this. And then see if I can make screen size fit right. Do we need chat? I mean, I guess I could do this. No, wait. That is cinema mode. Is there a way to like move chat down? Because we don't need to see chat. We can look at it every once in a while. Okay. So now I gotta do. Oh, that full screens it. I see. We'll just have to do this. What the hell? Okay. And this. That way I can have it full screen on my other monitor. Wait, why does it not? Huh? Oh, was it stretched? Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna delete that. And we're gonna... I'm like 60%. Nah, 68%. Happy birthday, person. Users know you're just too old to know the new ones. No, I didn't say memes are not still a thing. It's that memes change every day because of the TikTok brain of kids nowadays. You used to have memes that lasted years, like certain meme formats. Now it just changes way too much. Okay, so window capture. Window capture. Okay. Now this will be just about perfect, I think. Excuse me. All right, that should be good now. Boom, nailed it. Done. Now I can watch full screen on my other monitor. That's good stuff. I can bring this over here. I need it for 1 sec. I can't see. Is there a black line at the edge? It's hard to tell because when I click off, there is. Okay. Okay, now there should be... Is that like perfect? No. Why is it moving that in the background? What the fuck is that? Move that one. No, don't snap. How do you stop snapping? What the fuck? It's control? No, it's control. Okay. No, it's moving the wrong one again. Just freaking move the right one, bro. God damn. OBS is being complicated. Okay. Did we finally do it? Okay, good enough.
One day.
There we go. That sounded like Jared. Yeah, distance is sick. Oktoberfest, great as always. Did you hear about the new martial art for vegans only? It's known as tofu. Okay. What's up, D-Trox? Alright, what's everyone's big prediction? Shit, we were supposed to do a bingo card and take shots if they don't have the thing. Oh shit, now this is slightly off the bottom. What the hell is going on? Here we go. Wait on my laundry to finish as I torture you. You're not... Just drying your laundry out. You're drying us out of here. Come on. CitizenCon bingo card. I wonder if there are... Because the one I saw wasn't very good. Like the free space is technical difficulties. It's a pre-recorded show. It's not. There's not going to be technical difficulties, right? Okay, let me switch over my eyes. 1 sec. 1 minute. It's time for CitizenCon, you motherfuckers. We're doing shots. Yeah, let's do it. CitizenCon, motherfuckers. Okay, I just want to switch to this for a sec, because I want monitor on screen. That's the wrong fucking one. Shit. Is it global? I don't have that as a scene yet. Okay. Whatever. We'll just stay in game the whole time. 3 seconds! CitizenCon, baby! Instead of a more summary, you're here.
We have finally moved past the question of whether we can build an architecture.
Turn up, Chris.
Deliver incredible detail at massive scale, seamlessly, and where
Why is Chris so
people
quiet?
can all play together. Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly at scale for the past 9 months. It has brought a more populated and active verse with up to 700 players
Can you guys hear him?
and in the same space at once. It's greatly increased server performance and delivered a much more responsive player experience. I couldn't be prouder of the team. They delivered something no other online game does presently. There may be other games out there that claim large player counts. No other online game does presently. There may be other games out there that claim large player counts, or even the ability to mesh, but none do it at our detail, scale, and seamlessness. Of course, there will be continued improvements to server meshing and to Star Engine, But having moved past this last big technological hurdle has allowed us to finally focus on quality of life and stability improvements, something that has long been overdue.
I'll have to turn this
We're
up.
about to deliver our 9th patch in 10 months with content that has brought Star Citizen
better?
storytelling into new and exciting directions. We pushed more than 24 features and more than 2,000 bug fixes. And while there is still a long way to go, the game has gotten more stable, performant, and fun as a result. We see this in player metrics. More of you play every day. The daily average users is up 45%.
He's just talking
from last
bullshit
year,
like he usually does.
And your play time is up 15%. So more people venture out into the verse and stay there longer than ever
That's way
before.
better? Okay, good.
And through all that, we've told the dual stories of the Frontier Fighters Assault on Pyro and the moral compromises being made to combat the regen crisis. Now, as those stories come to a rest for the time being, it's time to look forward to the next chapter of Star Citizen, where the instability in Pyro and the callous actions of some pave the way to new adventures, new locations, and new threats. Last year, we announced our next Star Citizen would be Nyx, home to the People's Alliance of Levski and bordering the Vandal threat. Today, we're proud to share that your adventures in Nyx begin not next year, but next month, when Star Citizen's third system comes online in Alpha 4.4. 2 new systems in 1 year. That's only possible because of the tireless work of our development teams, server meshing accelerating what's possible, the support teams behind the scenes, and most importantly, all of you. Now,
They say next month, but it'll still be delayed 3 months. But still this year.
But in many ways, we're more connected than ever. Across the globe, many of you are gathering at watch parties, 9 of them with our developers in attendance, and countless others springing up in communities everywhere, and all happening simultaneously today. So even
we've got our cups
if
of
we're
copium,
separated by oceans and continents,
some German
we're
schnapps,
bound together by the same passion for space, for discovery, and for this incredible universe we're building together. Whether you're at home or alongside your crew at a watch party, grab a drink, sit back, and let us take you inside our up-and-coming plans for the next year of Star Citizen.
You did not actually believe it, really? You did it, Reddit. It's time for CitizenCon 2095D5. German schnapps. And I got a gold medal. Hell yeah. Anyone know what Nyx is about? Nyx is a system, human controlled, on the border. We're going to get explained this. On the border of Vandal territory, which means Vandal are probably going to be attacking.
The game is no longer restricted, allowing us to forge ahead with building out our first 5 star systems. Nyx will see the much-loved Levski landing zone added
Levski's
back to
back,
the verse,
baby. Levski's
while
back.
also bringing you one of its most iconic landmarks,
Das war Volnyx?
the Glacium Belt. Here, you'll experience a new combined arms operation that will introduce new factions and new adventures for you to discover. With this edition of our 3rd star system, we're also going to do something that's at the heart of the entire Star Citizen
grab your
experience,
dicks. It's time for Nyx.
and that is to build it right in front of you. As we have done this year, with the addition of several major locations, such as the Hathor facility or the Lazarus complex, we will continue to unveil
if we
Nyx
see
content
Tony Z,
throughout the year.
we chug this
It's
bottle.
a slightly different approach to how we deliver Pyro, but we
No, we
feel
think he's
this
dead.
gets the content into your hands soon.
We haven't seen him in like 5 years.
Shows our intent as we continue our march
Tony Z.
towards 1.0. I'm so incredibly proud
This
of
is
the
Richard.
work our teams have done and are continuing to do, and we're excited to have you on this next step of our journey. And as with any journey in Star Citizen, that begins with a little story.
Story time. Ladies and gentlemen, grab your blankets. It's time for story time. The story so far. The text is so tiny.
In 2025, we introduced 2 major storylines spanning multiple patches, creating a living backbone for adventure across the universe. The first was Pyro Must Burn. It connected Stanton to Pyro and introduced
Yeah, their goal
the
is to create this
frontier
large narrative
who
for
are
the time that
relentless,
Star Citizen
brutal,
1.0 comes
and
around.
determined to wipe
your
out any threat
blankies.
that crosses. And with this month's release,
So
you'll now take part in the conclusion to that storyline. The second was Science Run Amok, with the regen crisis throwing the Empire into chaos, and you all jumping in.
Nick's is
to
crossed
help
off
the
on the bingo
various
card now.
corporations respond. Through that journey, we pulled back the curtain on ASD and its shady practices.
social
uncovering
systems, a
long-forgotten
new
ops
creature,
facilities,
new JPEG
and met
concept
new
art,
characters
crafting, maelstrom
like
control
Dr.
surfaces,
Logan
base
Yorick
building,
and Detective Arkham
quantum
Miller
boost.
of
Yeah,
the Hawk
okay, there's a lot of
Agency.
Krakens on
And
this.
just like the Pyramus Burn storyline carried us into a new system, Science Run Amok is now setting the stage for Nyx, the next step in the larger story we're telling on the road to 1.0. As this new chapter of Star Citizen begins, let's hear from just a few of the team members working to bring this next era of our universe to life.
When the Nyx system was first discovered, the United Empire of Earth, the UE, came out and did scans and kind of found out that the system wasn't really worth settling. The planets were too hard to terraform, the resources were too tough to get, so they opened it up. And one company saw opportunity where the UE didn't, QV Planet Services. And so they expanded into the system and tried to mine as much as they could, making a very slim margin by the sheer quantity of resources they were pulling out.
The system itself
on your YouTube.
sort of ran its course from sort of a large corporate interest
Fuck yeah, stay in your
perspective,
jammies.
and then was mostly left abandoned.
Now this ended up being the ideal situation for the People's Alliance, who were a group of revolutionaries who were trying to overthrow
We saw People's Alliance in
the dictatorship of the Messer regime that was going on in the Empire
leaks.
at the time.
So they went to the Nyx system
Avoid ads,
and
true.
established what became known as Levski. They wanted to
Levski.
make it everything that the UEE wasn't at this time.
They set up what they saw as their ideal society, where everyone's voices would be heard, where everyone would be equal. But they've fallen onto hard times. So Nyx today is kind of at an interesting point in its history. Now that the UEE has kind of transformed itself into a democratic society, what is their role? What are the People's Alliance rebelling against? And they still see the Empire as being inherently unfair. They see their role as still trying to create a free and fair society. But on the other hand, they have more problems than ever. And there's new threats lurking around every corner. And they have to ask, are they prepared to handle that? Or do they need to turn to the UE for help?
Oh yeah, you guys got. I don't know if I switched it to live chat, but mine just shows regardless. But for you guys to view it, I think you have to switch it.
Making a star system is you.
Yeah, but he's just
You approach it
vampires.
from
What the
kind
fuck?
of two angles in a weird way. What is this system bringing to the gallery? How does this new system plug into
I think
it?
you just
What
use
does
it as a
bring
word
to
for
the
like
table
something
from a
leeching
sort
off
of a
something else, maybe.
flavor experience. We want to make sure that whatever it's bringing to the company is unique and has some flair to it.
So the Nyx system is a remote system where people want to go and live free outside of the pressure and influence of the UEE. It's a remote and rugged system with a lot of hostility coming from the ever-present threat of Vandal.
It's kind of like a frontier-esque thing. It's not lawless like Pyro, it's just kind of out there. Pyro's more like a Mad Max wasteland, and Nyx is more like Silverado or like Deadwood, right? It's kind of like a smaller scope.
The emptiness and the loneliness is the defining factor. You're still going to find gangs, you're still going to find hostile presences, but it's where people go if they want to live off the grid.
The People's Alliance is the main peacekeeping force in Nyx.
They were unhappy with the direction that the Empire was going under the Messers. They got out.
I don't think we're gonna get
They said,
Nyx for
"We're just
IA.
gonna start from
Diz in
scratch,
Discord
build
was
our
saying
own
that.
society, but build it the way that we think it needs to be built.
They're not perfect, they're just people, but they're doing their best. They want to help keep Nyx safe and make it prosper.
They are trying to do the best that they can, but are faced with the realities of dealing with people, which is tricky.
It feels my chat's not
The
working.
Pyrostar is quite a warm star. Stanton star is quite neutral. And the Nyx is a little bit cooler. The system has its star and it has this
Oh,
dark,
never mind. Above
really,
my face.
really
It
dense gas.
Is
sort
YouTube
of
coming up there
nebulous
too or no?
cloud. And it has points of light scattered around it, and those points of light in this gas cloud is really, really hazy. So because Nyx is bordering Vandal space, it was important that we have a gap.
Thank you, Nine Bakes. It's been a while. I hope you've been well. I appreciate it.
In between the clouds,
Thank you for the wishes.
see a piece of the Vandal space.
Next goddess of the
It
night.
feels so close that it's even like protruding some red light. The level designers are using it as an actual visual indicator of where to place more dangerous POIs. So if you point your ship in the direction of it, you should find, as we build it out, that you will be in more and more danger. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think I took that off so I don't
To
get
give
banned
more
for
atmosphere,
multi-chat.
I was testing out adding some sort of space snowflakes, essentially. So when you look towards the sun, you can sort of see that sort of like sparkle. But then when you look away from the sun, you'll see the reflections and sort of like little glints of light.
Space dust.
For the jump points in Nyx, we'll have 2 on this release. We'll have one from Pyro to Nyx and one from Stanton to Nyx. It should be going from Nyx to
Yeah, I know.
Castra, but
Twitch
we're
has been
essentially
fucking stupid for it.
bypassing Castra temporarily.
Hey, we want to make sure you can get there any way you want.
Glacian Belt is a huge asteroid belt that is in sort of the middle of the system.
Glacian Belt is a combination of a bunch of technologies that we already had. The asteroid fields we
Gonna be
use for
mining out
planetary
there?
rings and the gas clouds. And it's combining them to make something completely new that we've just not seen before.
It's full of resources that are still left unharvested because it's kind of a tricky spot for mining. It's not the easiest place to go, but that means that there's still a lot of opportunity for independent miners to go out there.
So the rocks in Nyx are a bit more sharp, like sort of like icy look, rocky, cliff-like, very different from those in the Pyro and the Stanton.
One of the big differences too
Those
is
are huge.
all of that extra added movement that just adds a little bit of extra flair.
It's also a good hiding spot for people who are trying to elude capture, maybe set up ambushes, that type of stuff.
Always feel way more interesting flying.
There'll be some
in
fun
those
battles
spaces
around
than
those.
Just, you know, through empty void.
And as we build out the Glacian Belt over the next year, lots of places to put new content.
Yeah. You can do hidden bases and stuff in here.
Delmar is a very large asteroid in the Glacian Belt that QV Planet Services had built a mining base on that got taken over by the People's Alliance and renamed Levski.
This is where we last saw the Kraken.
Levski is our first and biggest social outpost for Nyx.
It's kind of like the place where you stop before you do your panning. So it's kind of a San Francisco before you go out to the gold rush.
It's going to be the central hub for trade and hauling and all of the
That's huge.
commerce
Look at the
within
size of that
Nyx
thing.
and also from Nyx to other systems. But it does have a CD underlayer to it.
It ran away in the
Over
Knicks, but we
years,
followed.
You're sort of improving
You
the
cannot hide from
generation method of those asteroids to culminate towards this specific point to make large, explorable location. When you fly towards the Levski, you see this huge gas ring around it, scattered small, mid-sized pieces of the asteroids.
Well, Levski's immediately apparently unique by the fact that
It looks very good, yeah.
it's a facility clamped onto
Their
the
set
side
designs
of an
are
asteroid. The
getting better and
breathtaking
better.
views of looking into the belt instantly gives it a unique charm and flavor.
As you approach, you'll initially see a
That's where it
very
was.
dramatic borehole
Kraken
that
came
goes
up out of
all
that
the way
hole.
through the asteroid. You will also see growing out from there and alongside Levski.
I love this
there
sense of
will
scale,
be
and you realize how
landing
small
pads
one person would
along
be
what I'd call the
walking
spine.
around there.
Lots of industrial pipes and
Oh, on Levski.
transport systems to bring out the refined mining materials when it was a mining
Well, I imagine
station.
The docking collar will be down in that
Before,
hole then.
we were using an actual planet, so we had all of the space available to place all of these structures. But now it kind of meant that we had to create an asteroid which has the appropriate size to.
If we took the whole shot of the asteroid, you will see that there is an area to fly underneath. We plan on bringing in Hull C gameplay, so this is exterior cargo elevators. So as a team, you will be able to load and unload cargo.
That's for hulls.
There's a lot more movement on the exterior.
Spots for hulls.
Such as the cargo trains going around tracks.
That's
it's
fun.
now going to
that.
be fully EVA-able. There will be walkways.
Oh, that's so
the
fun.
main
Everyone's just floating
landing
around.
zone to walk on using gravity plates, but you can drift off and kind of go
That's so
wherever
fun.
you want. They can explore fully the whole place, which is great.
Unlike the majority of anarchists living in Pyro, there are people here in Nyx that care.
It's not a downtrodden or derelict, dilapidated location.
Adam Sandler.
It has a sense of order.
Oh, Adam
But
Sanders.
only where the People's Alliance has people living.
But we've had Levski before, and we've updated it quite substantially to be more in line with the newer features that have been put in since, but also visually. And there's been a lot of quality of life fixes that we've wanted to add and bring up to like a good standard for a landing zone.
I feel like he could play a
Raising
dwarf in
main
Lord of the
lobby
Rings.
of Levski is a large statue of Anthony Tanaka, who was a child worker.
And was being worked to death. All of them were. And Anthony Tanaka just had a break and just said no, and stood up against the foremen, the supervisors, the managers, the guards, and was killed for it. And so he became a sort of a figurehead.
And kind of was one of the linchpin moments in seeing the fall of the Messer regime.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it started in the
So
right
if you take
spot,
the
but fell to the wrong
elevator
place.
up to the top deck, you'll see the top view and the,
Yeah, the beer
cargo
jewelry.
area as well. So that you can go through the cargo shop. You've got your normal kind of cargo needs. You'll have ability to trade.
You're gonna have a lot of pirates hanging around
and
this
buy
area.
your tractor beam and other gear that you need. So if you were to die in the Nyx system, then one of the places you might come out from is the hospital in Levski, which is called the Mercy Hospital.
So Mercy Hospital is just basically, it's a local med station for all the residents of Levski, anybody traveling through the system. Again, they're trying to provide as good medical help for people as they can.
A little worn
When
down, not as bad
you
as Grimhex,
arrive
but
at the habit location, you'll be presented with a lobby, elevator bank, and then you will take that transit to the hab room. So within that room will be pods.
And that's where the original miners would have
thank you,
lived.
Tack. New Expanse
They're
game?
not the
Yeah,
nicest,
I haven't
and
seen
they're a
anything
bit
new
messy,
from it yet, but
they're a
I
home
saw the original
for
like
Levski.
environment reveal.
If you head down to the lower view deck, you'll go through into the Grand Barter, which
popcorn.
is your main social and commercial area of Levski.
This is where you will see market sellers selling their wares. There will be stalls, there will be kind of more embedded shops.
And that includes things like Corderies, which is your armor shop, and also conscientious objects.
Solar
for
creativity.
weapons. There's also one of my favorite
It's on the
places,
nose,
Cafe
you know.
Museum.
It's
which is where
efficient.
you can go down into some of the more rocky depths and grab yourself a drink, and you never know who you meet down there. If you explore a bit more around the Grand Barter, there's other routes around and little side passages. There's another shop that's away from that
Well, howdy,
area
Tack.
called
How you doing?
Teachers.
Teach a Ship Shop is basically where you would go if you were looking to pick up a used ship, buy some ship parts, fix up your old ship, find some new stuff, sell some scrap.
We've closed
got
up
everything here.
Dumpers Depot for Levski, and everything that used to be sold there will now be sold at Teachers. Another new area, as well as the
Teachers,
cargo
Teachers
shop
own.
that we've added, is the refinery deck
For good?
Levski. That's where you can take your processed goods, not just from Levski, but from the rest of the Nyx system, and refine and sell those goods there.
Well, you're
as a
just
lot of the
outside of
content in the
like
next
Levski,
coming
yeah.
releases for Nyx is going to be mining related. So it's super important that Levski is a really nice hub.
Have you taught her
mining
anything yet?
type of gameplay.
Yeah, watch out for the
So we're
pirates
really
here.
happy to bring Levski back into the game. It's been gone for quite a few years now.
I think it really provided a unique environment of it's run down, but the people who live there love it and are working their hardest to make it a great place to live.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
This is a location that has a lot of nostalgia for you guys, and we don't want this just to be
Fuck you, Danny.
release. We do want you to go, wow.
It's not going to be as complete as Pyro was when it first came out, but it's going to be our first iteration, and you're going to be able to see it grow as we work
We
on
can
it.
albatross or
Like
goat.
with everything, we're always learning and improving and finding new ways.
I mean, is there anything more Star Citizen than just building the system while the players watch us build it around them?
It's going to add a nice dynamic to Stanton and be a much more calming of style system than Pyro.
Blue-footed
The
booby.
people that would have played it
You like
before
boobies.
are going to love to see this come back. And the people that haven't seen it before,
Red kite.
it's going to be a great new location.
This is the first time that I'm going to be able to touch stuff and kind of bring my own content to the game.
my God,
That's
it's like an
really
eagle.
exciting to me.
Levski coming back into the game is a huge milestone personally for me. So I worked on the original quite some time ago.
That must be cool to see it
so
again.
seeing it come back and updated and improved and better is fantastic.
I do kind of miss that, like, because Levski was like a circle before. It makes more sense that it's not a circle given how small it was, but something wicked this way comes. I haven't
So we
played it in a
talked
little
about
bit, to be honest,
Levski,
Tack.
We talked about
But
the Glazing
I will be
Belt,
getting back into
but
it
you
soon now.
probably
There's
asked
more kind of
yourself,
to talk about.
What's the new
to.
gameplay activity we're going to be doing? So
I was
let's
waiting
find
for a
out.
lot of things to just be ironed
Welcome
out
to
and
Nyx
storylines to
is
complete.
Your first experience in a new space station in a new solar system.
It's a mystery to be solved. There's things for the player to explore and look into. There's going to be some twists and turns.
Yeah, that's the
of
thing is
course,
you don't
some
want to give away
combat,
too much, right?
And if you're lucky enough to survive, maybe some good rewards.
This is basically a continuation of kind of our ASD storyline. So in the closing out what we had called our Science Run Amok storyline, we had revealed that ASD had been procuring sort of very black market illegal stuff in order to conduct their experiments. So this mission is basically going to be continuing on that trail.
So the Navy has learned that illegal tech is being sold in the UAE, and they're hiring Intersect to investigate. Intersect Defense Solutions is the leading military defense contractor in the UAE. So the Navy contracts with them a lot for doing various kind of military operations that they don't want to handle themselves. We didn't want players to be working directly for the Navy. The Navy just doesn't call up random citizens and ask like, hey, if you're free, can you
Oh,
fly
I
a
was getting
helicopter?
deja vu, 'cause I'm
I
like,
guess
I've
as a
seen this
player, when you
before.
think
I
about,
forgot they
like,
did give us a bit of a
where
glimpse
am
of
I going
this.
to be doing missions that are capital ship
Already, I
battles
think.
or large fleet scale stuff or military operations? That's all going to come from Intersect Defense Solutions.
Or maybe they've just used
Intersect
that
have
footage already.
Discovered the source of the illegal tech.
'Cause that was the
Nyx
Hurston armor,
system
right?
And an old abandoned QV Planet Services logistics station that's come back online.
So they want the players to figure out what's going on.
So when you come out of Quantum and you start your approach vector to the objective, you'll be weaving through asteroids, going through the Glazing Belt, and slowly the station will reveal itself. Now this is an old QV logistics station. It's pretty beat up, it's pretty derelict, but there's some points of interest that you'll spot as you go through. So the station itself shares design cues from old Pan Am stations found in Pyro. This architectural design found its way over to the Nyx system as the system was being established. But you'll also see some additional design cues that QV planetary services were adding, so it's a nice transition architectural point. It's fairly skeletal in design. You'll see logistics yards and cargo yards, but also facilities pinned inside the asteroid, creating this network of facilities. You'll notice there's a Polaris near the main hub. It's not a normal Polaris. It's damaged, it's broken. It's not a standard corporate Polaris.
Okay.
So at this point, you should be asking yourself, who does this belong to? Away from the Polaris, you'll see struts leading to asteroid bases. Now these asteroid bases are locked.
With my
so
car?
you don't know exactly what's inside just yet. But all of
That's
this
funny.
comes together to form the playground for the mission to take place.
Because distance, yeah.
So not only is this facility unabandoned, but it's also under attack from a surprising but familiar foe.
Your mama. Vandal. Yeah. Is that the Mauler?
For the first time in the PU, the Vandal.
Called that too. On a fucking roll.
So the Vandal are a nomadic, very, very, very violent spacefaring race.
They've been striking out against outposts and such in the Nyx system. They don't really know what they want, don't know why they're doing it, but it seems like whoever's running the station is really pissed them off.
Vandal raiding parties have been rioting in the system, and they're unaffiliated to any clan. There's small groups coming in and picking at them. But as time goes on, those raids are getting bigger and more frequent.
There'll be the scythes that you're familiar with, glaives and blades that we all know and hate, and a new craft for the PU, the Vandal Stinger.
Oh, it's a Stinger. Okay. I was wrong on the Mauler. The Mauler might be later though, and you won't be able to.
Civilians on arrival.
I don't think you'll be able to
asking
fly
you for
these though,
help.
right?
So at this point, you have a choice. You can either bug out, mission over, or join the fight. This will be the first time since the PU launched that you'll be able to fight against Vandal aggressor ships.
Yep.
This fight will be intense. The player should be able to deal with them, but they will have to be prepared and they'll have to come back in to fight off this initial wave, and that won't be the end of it.
After you fight off the Vandal ships, the mysterious inhabitants of the station invite you to come on board.
Which Intersect sort of will encourage you to do because it'll help further their investigation against what's happening here, why these QB stations have come back online.
You dock your ship, you board the station, and it turns out the inhabitants here have a real surprise for you.
The player will be immediately ambushed. These guys are not your friends.
Of course, it's not going to be easy because the people that are inhabiting the station are going to fight you every step of the way.
The fight will be challenging, but this definitely will be the warm-up phase of this mission. This will be the players getting a sense of what exactly is going on there, who these new people are. They'll be in unfamiliar armor. They will be wielding unfamiliar weapons. And we want you to get a sense that you are in a new place, in a new territory, fighting a new faction.
The hopes is that
by
the time the game releases, they're going to have a lot of different missions.
And obviously the question is, who are these people? Why are they attacking? Why are the Vandal attacking them?
At this point, there's more going on here than anyone thought. The directive from Intersect is to explore the station and collect as much information as you possibly can.
Along the way, you're going to get to explore some new areas.
It's not just the space station. There's the disabled capital ship. There's asteroid bases nearby with obvious installations there, other forces that the Vandal have been attacking. There's a debris field.
Explore the locations in any order you want.
We're gonna die a
and try
lot.
to find out who these people are and why the Vandal are after
Speak for
them.
yourself.
You'll find new clues. You'll find ways to solve the puzzle of what's going on at the space station, and find out what kind of loot they have for you now that you beat them.
And of course, this is a legally open station, so anything you find is yours to keep and sell, maybe even give to Wicklow.
So it sounds like there's going to be some cool new guns.
This isn't just a one-time event. This
we'll
is
drop.
a permanent sort of mission that we're going to be adding to the game.
You can go back and repeat this mission and find ways to do it even better, even faster.
There'll be a different story and different flavor. Obviously, we can't have the same thing happen every time. There'll be other missions that Intersect will offer to you based on the evidence that you found.
Now you know the real story, and you can start digging and giving more information to Intersect along the way.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I'm super excited to finally see the Vandal in the PU.
I'm excited to bring cool FanDuel ship combat to SC.
Players in the PU will now get to face down these awesome
Just
ships
bro.
and get a taste of...
What's good? Thank you. Happy birthday.
Like, we already have it in Arena Commander, where you get to fight the Vandal Swarm, and being able to do that
Well, now
in the PU is going to be, I think, a heck of a lot of fun.
I'm debating, do I play Star Citizen after, or do I go and try and edit a video to get it out as quick as
So
possible on
this
YouTube?
marks
Probably
a great
YouTube, right?
milestone for us for not only pushing hard and adding great content this year, we're also being able to introduce the next star system and introducing the next landscape to tell new stories and add new gameplay beats into the ever-expanding universe. So we'll leave 4.4 there. If you're at one of the watch parties, please raise a toast to the great work that all the teams have been doing this year. And I'll be right back in just a few minutes to look ahead at some of the things coming in 2026.
Edit video while I mean, I could.
Hello,
but I think some people
everyone.
find that boring, though, right?
And welcome to the Voyager Bar in beautiful scenic Orizon, where the staff of Cloud Imperium Games Manchester is gathered for their very own CitizenCon Direct Watch Party. As the dozens of such events happening at locations around the world, we've gathered today to watch this sneak peek at just a little of what the next year of Star Citizen has in store for everyone.
Bread.
Oh, that was really good, everybody. I'm Jared Huckabee, your host for the festivities and for the show today. And let me tell you, it's not a joke. It's not a gag. Next week, we're hitting our 9th patch in 10 months. And then in November, we're going to finish out the year strong with the long-awaited arrival of the Nix system. And in case you missed it because you were chatting with friends, hi. It's not the lawless wasteland of Pyro many folks have been speculating, but an independent system
we're
with
watch
its
party.
own set of rules
Oh, that's
and
Toasting
laws
Death.
and multiple ways to get
We
there.
got a toast?
It's
Okay.
an exciting time for everyone at Cloud Imperium Games because
Toast some
as the
schnapps.
architects of our persistent universe said at the start of the show, the foundational tech that we've been building for so many years has
Just a
now
little guy.
unlocked us to bring more to Star Citizen than ever before as we continue our journey towards 1.0. Now, before we continue with the show, let's get a few housekeeping tasks out of the way. First, we're simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. So if you want the keen communities of Twitch or the 4K ultra high resolution of YouTube, you have your choice.
It's Oktoberfest.
Second, throughout the broadcast
We do it a
today,
week late.
we want to see and hear what you have to say along the way, and you can tell us on social media by using hashtag CitizenCon. We're especially interested to see any photos from those watch parties that are happening across the globe, and we're going to find some way to bring a few of them into the broadcast later in the program. Third, we've also had a CitizenCon contest going for people to create their very own slice of life in the PU videos, and we played the winning entries during our pre-show countdown. The offerings were super varied. The idea was to work with a team to show the life of a miner or a hauler or a bounty hunter or whatever. But one guy just said, I'm going to make a video about how awesome I am, and I respect that. So shout out Nocturnal Revenant. I don't remember if you were one of the winners getting an L21 Wolf.
Wait, I should have submitted one of my old videos.
You won the coveted
The miner
Disco
video.
Lando Complete Narcissist Award. Good job. And to all the winners, I'm sure someone will either be in touch with you about your wolves or they'll just show up on your accounts. I really
How you doing,
don't
though, Spanish
know how
Jedi?
that process
Welcome to the stream.
works. Probably would have been good to find out before the show, huh? He's so afraid. Either way, if you missed the pre-show and are curious if you won, you can check the replay after we're done here today. All right. I just realized that my bosses, Chris and Sandy, are sitting in a movie theater watch party in Switzerland right now. A completely captive audience. So real behind the scenes here. This is especially torturous for Chris right now because he's super excited about the next segment we've got coming up. Aren't you, Chris? And you're just sat there right now, forced to watch and listen to anything I say. Do either of you regret that decision so long ago? All right, so I've probably pushed my luck enough.
What's up,
Let's
String?
get to the next thing. When Nix arrives next month, it'll have Levski, the Glacium Belt, and the new Welcome to Nix operation we just discussed.
What a troll.
But
I love it.
throughout 2026, we'll also continue to build the star system out with new features and new technologies that will not only set Nix apart
how's
and
the
give it a
teeth coming?
unique identity
Feeling
from
better?
its sibling star systems, but continue to set Star Citizen apart from other video games altogether. Now, at this point, if you're running one of the watch parties, you're going to want to crank your speakers up for some brand new music from the maestro Pedro himself.
Yeah,
And
Pedro.
let's take a look at some of what the next year has to offer for the Nix system.
Can you guys hear enough? Did you need louder?
Cloud Imperium Games, we believe art inspires
Hell yeah.
the best technology. And through the development of that technology, it pushes us to create even better art. When Genesis comes to the persistent universe starting next year, it will change how you experience every world. And not just in the building of the new planets for the Nyx system. We will also go back through Stanton and Pyro and reimagine them through the lens of our technology.
You all have T-pros, what the hell?
And more traditionally,
Teeth gang in chat.
we'd create slices of biomes, like deserts or forests. This approach moved us forwards and got us this far, but solving the scale was always tricky.
Okay, so Genesis.
And for Star Citizen, we like to do scale on another level.
Yes, you do.
Issues like seeing tiling from our height maps from high altitude, or the unpredictable blending when two biomes connected, were common. But ultimately, things just never felt right. Our worlds were gorgeous, but to us, they still sometimes felt like interpretations.
Feels big.
Now, this was a super hard problem, which we needed to solve at the scale for Star Citizen requires. We challenged ourselves to emulate nature in the most
It's a big engineering
believable
problem.
way, and not just on a planetary scale, but to our level of detail.
Don't compromise. So Genesis is going to be full
With Genesis,
systems
we've made a complete paradigm shift to how we do things.
of environment and ecosystem.
Biomes are now created based on the physical data sets, with the assets being spawned whenever and wherever the correct criteria is found.
Based on soil density, based on
So when you
altitude,
see a forest or a
etc.
meadow, it's no longer because an artist painstakingly crafted it there. It's now because it simply wants to be there. It fits inside our rules.
This looks really good.
Genesis also ties into our
Wow,
other
whoa, whoa, whoa!
game
Look at that!
systems.
Look at that draw distance right now.
Our new planets are built from the information we create for our different data
You're getting a
sets.
little bit of popping, but not much.
Like height maps, humidity, temperature, soil type, soil maps, geology erosion data, to name but a few. This means you can now tell where to find valuable minerals as the geology looks like it would be suitable for it. Where scree piles exist below sheer cliff faces, and where rocks have broken off over time due to erosion. Of course, these new tools still give us the ability to direct the look and feel we want.
See, a little bit of
attention to
popping, but they're
detail
doing it in the
from
right
the tallest
spots.
mountain to the smallest flower is still our core.
But you're still
DNA.
getting a lot of draw in the distance. A couple
Genesis,
medium distance pops.
We can now keep that
But it's hidden-
detail-orientated mindset as we focus on the
Because you have that
quality,
distant object.
and it provides the quantity. Genesis provides our planets with the ultimate sense of exploration and adventure, discovery in the purest emotional form. We want you to find that perfect place, with the planets providing an abundant
base
resource
building.
to harvest. This is a major part of what
Efficient.
exploration is for us. We want that feeling of finding a corner
Right,
of the
Mally?
universe that you'll fall in love with, and where you want to settle down and build your home.
Listen to this, Pedro.
Now I'm going to hand you over to Will to go deeper into what we have built that allows Genesis to realize our vision. As a reminder, some of the visuals you'll see will evolve and change as we continue our technological development and hone in on the final look for Nyx.
Thanks, Ian. So, in
That
case
varied
it's not already clear, Genesis
valley
is
there,
our name for
very
a group of
nice.
technologies that are improving our ability to
Yes,
build worlds.
water guy. It's water guy.
Finding
Can we get a
those
water
we've
guy in
already
chat,
created,
MVP?
And ultimately expanding our persistent universe to the scale and quality
River
that
guy.
we all expect. I work on planet tech, so let's talk about how that's continued to evolve since our presentation last year. And instead of just highlighting some really cool biomes that we can create, let's go ahead and show how all this work applies to the upcoming planets of Nyx.
Hey, what's up, Mateo? This is
So there are 3 planets
Star,
in Nyx.
for Star Citizen.
Nyx 3
I mean,
is
yeah, for
a
BlizzCon.
gas giant, and I think it's blue. It's not going to surface. I don't really know. Nyx 2 is a yellow, toxic. It's got like this high pressure atmosphere, and it's like a very volatile planet with high risk reward gameplay. It's going to have some really interesting biomes for you to discover, but
thanks for the lurk.
Now, just know it's going to be dangerous, because today we're going to focus on what we consider to be the hero planet.
What's the
of
hero
this
planet?
system.
Oh, look, it is your mama.
Nyx 1 has got a rugged, remote beauty. It's got a diverse set of biomes, from weathered rocky mountain ranges to vast sweeping forests and grasslands, and from damp, expansive wetlands to claustrophobic, festering swamps. These core biome concepts give us a fantastic platform to hone our technology, in some cases because the current tech couldn't do them at all, or because we want to completely step up our game for them. So, let's approach this planet.
Well, they'll add them to all the other planets eventually, but
from orbit. The orbit appearance of the planets going forward.
Yeah, the goal is
far more tied
on the
to
actual
what is
mountains?
present on the surface.
Probably. I wouldn't. I mean,
Previously,
probably certain
we had
gradings of
different data that drove the orbital and ground
that you need to
coloring.
be on.
That's because the orbit was designed to look like vegetation that we'd place on the surface, and the ground coloring was trying to be a mix of soil, rock, and the organic compound coloring that forms the kind of colors there.
I feel like
Now we
Nyx
also
1 was their
have
test
much
bed
more
for all
of the
this.
data
Now that
in
they've got
a
it honed in, they
unified
can
way.
apply it elsewhere.
When you look at Earth, you see blues and greens for ocean and vegetation, and brown or yellowy tones for sand and soil. We wanted to keep it as simple as that. The same set of textures and data that define the color of the soil, sand, and rock on the ground are used to create the orbital look.
Yeah.
We then assess the presence of vegetation and competition between different species on each part of the planet.
This is a real
and use that to
simulator, like a
blend in
biome
tones of
simulator.
green, including variations due to
Rather than
species
bespoke
health and the current
painting
season.
by the
This
artist.
creates a far more complete image and allows you to identify features, geologies, and potential points of interest all the way from space. Let's go down to the surface and start with something closer to what you're used to, but in a whole new light. When we approached the surface of the planet, we wanted to start by focusing on just the soil and rock.
It was one of my favorite songs.
One of the things that was missing from our
whimsical.
terrain previously was simply feature complexity. Looking at our contemporaries, we lacked detail at the
In come
ground scale.
humans.
To combat this, we've added a new layer of data. That layer is called the medium tiles. These are intelligently placed on top of the existing 4-kilometer terrain tiles based on slope,
you don't get that
soil
instant
type, and other
popping from
erosion data. And these medium
low
tiles
res, yeah.
don't just create height changes, they also bring in local erosion data both for soil and bedrock size values. And this gives us a whole new level of terrain detail, of scale.
Very
and
smooth,
allows
right
us
in the
to
center.
create
You
far
saw
more
that.
unique
Watch the
locations
rocks down
across the
here.
planet.
I don't know if you can see my mouse, but yeah,
So now that
very
we've nailed
smooth.
the surface, let's have a look at adding some rocks.
You're not getting pop out.
We've
You're
now
getting
got
just
two major contributors to the rock
forget the word
content
for
of
it,
our
but it
planets.
dissolves.
Firstly, long desired feature, cliffs. We are adding large scale.
That one last
very
shot there was a
detailed to
little
all our
blurry.
cliffs based on the geology at a given location.
But
This
like
adds
these
an
shots look fine.
exciting new dimension to steep slopes that we simply couldn't get before. The second is a big one for you ground vehicle enthusiasts. Rocks are now found not scattered everywhere, like spilt popcorn at the cinema, but only in places you'd expect to find them, thanks to a brand new rock scattering algorithm that isn't annoying as hell. Using physical data generated for each large and medium tile, now rock distribution makes sense and has a physical basis.
Where it would have spilled
So
to.
if you're still
It looks like they
crashing
kind of
into
run
them after this comes out,
like a
that's
heavy
on
water
you.
sim. Where would the rocks fall to?
The rock assets themselves have had a glow up
Damn.
too. We now create rock sets related to a particular geology that look like they originated from the same source.
Giving them
This
physics
ties
would be
into how we'll
hard.
be distributing minables
That'd be hard
in
on the
much more
servers.
interesting ways too. So now that
That's
our base
gorgeous.
terrain and
Looks
rock
like
scattering
Iceland.
looks good, let's add some vegetations and explore some additional biomes.
Death Stranding, yeah.
Nyx 1's forests and grasslands are full of trees, various grass species, rock formations, and they're found in all sorts of elevations,
Yeah,
like
he's
mountain
River Daddy.
valleys, open plains, and dense meadows.
By the way, we're streaming on YouTube and
When we
Twitch,
start
so if
to add a
people
bit
wonder
of
what I'm
fresh
talking about, people you
water,
can't see.
they begin transitioning into more wetland-type biomes. And while forests are super cool, let's focus on the grasslands and wetlands today.
I love these grasslands.
So, how are we making these look so great?
Makes me wanna
Obviously,
play Valheim.
we've had grass before, but never meadows.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Because
streaming on my
until
Leaf
now,
SC channel. I have
we haven't been
two.
able to spawn grass
You can start
in
beef
large
with
enough
YouTube chat, yeah.
quantities or effectively represented at distance. So we're stepping up our game in terms of spawning, shaping, and shading grass.
I think the command is this one too.
With Genesis, we now leverage GPU spawning to
Yeah,
create
that's the
vast
live stream
quantities
link she
of
sent.
assets across all biomes. Whether it be dense meadows or more complex collections of ground cover like you can see in these wetlands.
Fuck you, Twitch chat.
We
No
are
beef
also
here.
able to fit our grass tiles to the ground by conforming them to the unique terrain underneath. Now we can finally cover complex terrain shapes with grass and ground cover assets, and as a result they are now gravity aligned, meaning each blade is oriented as you'd expect and not sticking out like before. Next, let's take a look at how we light our grass. Now, as in real life, the shading of a grass blade, or indeed a whole field of grass, is lit very differently to like a flat surface. We now use a solution that shades meadows of grass far more like fur or hair. And this, if you think about it, makes sense. At a distance, a field of grass is far more like a carpet or cloth than a flat surface.
I want to climb up there and say I'm
This
king.
improves how our grass looks from a near perspective, as well as bringing us nicely into how we're solving the distant representation of grass.
Yes. How are you solving the distant
So,
representation
let's
of
talk about
grass?
the distance problem.
Yes, please. Yes, why don't we?
One of our biggest achievements with Genesis is allowing us to
That's
build
Death Stranding.
beautiful biomes out of flora and geology assets like a building set. Like, can I say
Fixed
Lego?
him.
No.
Too late. But in the past, this broke down very quickly when objects simply disappeared when we're in the same biome from 10, 20, 100 kilometers away. Because we don't hide planetary transitions and allow you to view complex regions from very large distances, there are almost infinite
hard
perspectives
challenge,
from which you can
yes.
see a location in Star Citizen. So, how can we afford to evaluate complex spawning?
Not all the
objects
planets
at
look like Earth,
runtime
no.
For the entire swathes of the planet? Enter the virtual terrain. Virtual terrain, or VT for short, is how we now cache and represent our terrain at varying scales. This has been the enabler for all of the lovely advances in terrain complexity and asset spawning we've shown so far.
This guy's a
And
genius.
it's also
They lucked out
how
getting this
we
guy on
now
their team.
Evaluate and represent vegetation from a distance. When creating
Sure, yeah,
the VT
it's
for each part of the
gorgeous, yeah.
terrain, we assess if vegetation has covered the ground, and if so,
Not
what
yet, but they've already
shading
showed
should
off jungle
apply.
biomes.
For
And we
all
might,
of our
maybe we'll see it
biomes,
today.
We're now able to use the same shading model for the distant representation as the close-up asset, whether that's our lovely rolling hills,
Okay.
some more dramatic rockscapes, those muggy wetlands, or even our festering swamps. So yeah, we didn't forget about the swamps, and they're coming to Nix 1 as well. Built using the lessons learned and all the technologies we've developed, these swamps now spring into existence from the planetary data.
I mean, this is kind of
This
what
biome
you're asking
combines
for here,
all
right?
of the elements from the other biomes we've shown you today, from water interaction, denser spawning, unique ground coverage, and I think it
True,
creates
right.
something really unique.
What's that in the distance that's busted up there? What is that? That gives me kind of like Horizon vibes. Yeah, fuck swamps IRL.
Anyway, that's our update on the Planet Tech portion of Genesis and how we're using it right now to sculpt the identity of Nix 1. And I hope you're as excited as we are to explore this and everything we haven't shared yet next year.
Right. You got
As can
50%,
see,
but still next
Genesis
year.
is now inspiring everyone here to create planets of the quality and believability we've always strived for.
Oh, I love that rift. Look at that river
And
with
meeting
the
of
clouds open above
technology
it.
and art
That's cool.
that I truly believe will set our worlds apart from anything we've done before. And with that said, let's move on to a little travel between systems, literally.
Oh, there was orbs on this one at one point.
Up until now, our mission system has been specific to the star system you're in, meaning a Stanton mission.
Oh, can I get missions
has to take
across
place
systems
in the
now?
Stanton system.
Good.
And
Because
the Pyro
there's no
mission
reason
has to take place
go
there.
to other systems.
We've never been able
really.
to link these together, but with the introduction of our third star system, it's time for this to change. And that begins with the introduction of interstellar cargo.
What are you talking about today?
System-to-system hauling missions. Hauling is back.
Let's go.
No one said Holly was gone. He doesn't even play the game?
These are exactly what they say on the tin. Missions where you're going to start in, say, Stanton and end in Nix, taking various volumes of cargo between the stations. So there'll be high volumes of cargo.
He has one of my favorite
to fill the
accents. I
purpose
wonder
for
what
the Hull
region
C
this
and
is.
The other series of hull ships. And there'll be a few sort of
I always
more
like
direct
listening to him
routes.
talk.
So you might pick up some cargo from Ruin Station in Pyro and go through.
He looks like
Pinpoint
David,
to
doesn't he?
Stanton And drop it off there at one of the Helios.
This NA guy?
So if you've never sort of experienced the jump point or going through it, these missions will require you to. And
Bro,
no way limited.
running a
You can
fucking
do them in any sort of ship you want, any
warp
size
tunnel
of ship. I'll be doing
with
the
cargo
light
is scary as
Draco
shit.
myself, between Stanton and Nix.
Just a Drake cutter.
I've got a few ships, but the Draco is really cute, so.
Bought a Drake cutter.
One thing that we're looking to add with these interstellar missions is scripted combat encounters.
Yeah, but you're
where
German.
you
You're
can be
like
attacked by NPC
you guys
ships.
are culturally
Maybe
designed
the
to
mission
hate
giver
yourselves.
has tipped off some pirates who are looking to get a hold of that cargo, as well as express
See, look, it's
missions,
David.
which means the deadline timers that you're used to in the regular hauling missions might get really tight, and you've got to learn to be very fast. All of the love and care that has gone into hauling missions so far, with the logistical network and making sure they make sense within the themes of the systems, just as much love has gone into the interstellar missions we're making now.
Cool. Hopefully again we'll get
Start of the
like
show,
bounty
we said
hunting
we're
stuff
going to
across
build
systems
out
as
the
well.
Nix system right in front of you after 4.4 launches next month, and why we want to keep as much of what we're doing behind closed doors so you can discover it for yourself.
Yeah, that's fair.
in game and on your own.
That's fair.
We still are excited to share with you a brief look at one of our up and coming locations we're calling Rockcracker.
Rockcracker.
Okay, so Rockcracker, Jared, is our internal name.
Rockcracker is where you have to crack a rock. It's a big rock.
Does that count as Kraken?
You want more?
It's close enough, right?
So way out into the Kiga Belt, you'll find these old
Kraken?
QV breaker stations.
Try it, avocado.
These were originally industrial facilities.
Use my code if you make an
breaking
account.
apart large asteroids and mining them
You can make an
down.
account right now without
But since they've
playing the
been
game. They do free
mothballed
flies all the
and been
time.
left abandoned. So you're going to have to find your way inside and thinking about how do we bring this facility
Oh, wait, yeah,
back
you're
to
right.
life. It's not just about flipping the switch.
That was forever ago, though.
As you bring these stations back to life, you'll be lighting the beacon and calling attention to these long forgotten places.
Okay.
One of the main features is the laser head, which will require certain things to get working. It's up to you and your friends to find how to get in.
There'll be a variety of options. Whether you're discovering the bowels of the station and mining your way through long forgotten tunnels, or you're going through the main laser entrance. Now, as you're traversing through the facility,
I feel like concept
you'll find
art
the
of new
old
locations
engine
should have been
room.
on the bingo card. It's not, though. They have concept
Now,
art of
there may
ships.
be ways to bring the
not
facility
locations.
back to life, kickstart the engines, and bring power to different parts of the facility. Maybe eventually bringing the laser back online and cracking some rocks.
Kraken?
The secondary gameplay loop.
That counts as Kraken, right?
is FPS combat. You're not there by yourself.
There may be squatters and outlaws in these stations trying to stop you from what you want to do.
Oh wait, you're supposed to drink if they say every time they say next year. Oh, and if there's a CR speech. We've already hit those. Rock Kraken. It's like a rock golem.
So you found these old facilities, you've brought them back to life. You've systematically brought power to various functions of the facility.
Okay, then what?
You've activated the laser. You've fired the laser.
It's Hathor 2.0?
You've broken apart the rock. And then you'll be able to fly your ship inside and see what's there.
Hathor 2.0.
So you fly a ship into an asteroid?
Yeah. You just get into your ship and fly in and start searching around and trying to find the pieces that you want to mine.
What's in there? It's your mom.
I'm really excited about Rockcracker because it's a sandbox activity. You can kind of go to these whenever you want to.
This content is for players who enjoy mining, who enjoy
Who like
exploration, investigation.
Yeah, big G. Yeah, I was gonna say it's
and
Hathor
don't mind
2.0,
a little
really.
bit of FPS content while they're there.
But in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like on a planet.
It will be very new experience compared to any other asteroids.
I'm okay with this because like I'm okay with having similar gameplay styles in varied environments, because what it does is it makes sure we do spread people out. That like, okay, you will get people in the same area, but not to a point of like it's frustrating.
It wouldn't be worth doing if you couldn't make a good amount of coin. Yeah.
Making promises for the econ team.
Yeah. They've got to balance it.
We just need a variety of locations and
people who
content
want a
for
lot of
different
it.
players. So
When
this
crafting
is
comes
good.
in,
Even if you don't
all
plan
the
on
other
doing this, this is good
mechanics
for you
and
because it
features
can
that
keep
you want
people
in the game for 1.0 come
away
in.
for you and
It'll be a place where
other
like, an
economies
organization
thriving.
or a group of like 5-6 people could come and just get a monumental amount of minerals.
I feel like how are you going to do that though, right? Like
So
inevitably,
that's
like
a look at some of what's coming over the next 12 months. In addition to what we've shown, there'll be new
with the
mission
rate of
packs
people doing it,
tailored
you
to
can't
the
just
People's
like
Alliance
move
and
to
their
an Iraq.
struggles.
You'll eventually run
There'll be
out of
events
rocks, right?
that invest you into the evolving storyline of
It is
all
hard.
three systems.
You have to cheat a
we'll have
couple
in the game.
things in a
And
game.
of course, when we begin populating
Real life,
these with
there's
new
so many
planets,
asteroids,
there'll
right?
be a
But-
whole host of ground-based POIs, settlements, and structures inhabited by those trying to make their way in the verse. And all of this in service of building star systems that complement the massive corporate yard of Stanton, the lawless ganking of Pyro.
Sure. Well,
and
it
now
doesn't
the
take us
new frontier
shortcuts
of
when it can
discovery
avoid them.
for the Nyx system.
Because there's always
Should I say ganking?
going to be shortcuts, but only when it's technologically impossible to do otherwise.
Good job, everyone. So yeah, a whole lot to take in there. Interstellar hauling is the beginning of a massive expansion to the mission system that'll let us connect these 3-star systems like never before. What else we got? Rockcracker. Rockcracker is just one of the next operations that'll
Yeah,
be
I'm
coming
curious
to the
about how
system
they'll
in the
handle
first
it.
half of next year, where you're gonna fly into an asteroid and do that.
I don't know.
thing
Maybe you have a
that miners
solution.
love
I just
more
don't know
than
what it
anything
would be,
else.
right?
Complain about PvPers getting in their way. No, I'm being told it's mining. It's mining. And of course, one of the most anticipated features coming to Star Citizen, Genesis, and what that means for the planets of Star Citizen, including the ones already in there. So let's talk to Will Hain and find out more. And I'm just remembering that Will Hain is in France at the watch party. Okay, France. Ask Slarty Bartfast over there how they're going to use Genesis to update the planets and moons of Stanton and get back to me.
Slarty
all right?
Bartfast?
See if we can get some fjords. What else we got? The CitizenCon Digital Goodies Pack. That's a hard thing to say. That went up for sale a couple weeks ago and has a whole bunch of mysterious items in it. And that's where I can tell you now that almost all of them are tied to the Nyx system in one way or another. So let's find out what's actually in there. There's a gunship flight suit and helmet. 2 armor sets from that mysterious faction causing a ruckus with the Vandal.
Wait, I like that little
and
guy.
An Intersect BDU sweater and outfit. A couple of crazy weapons that I'm certain we're going to learn about in just a few minutes. Some slick Levski swag. And finally, to celebrate the long-awaited
Oh, it's your
addition
mom's
of the
dildo
Vandal
back
to
there.
Star Citizen, a cool Vandal knife and adorable plushie, which I swear to love and squeeze and cherish forever. So yeah, it's a pretty solid haul for this year's Digital Goodies Pack, which you can still pick up right now on the RSI store. So now let's go ahead and transition into our next segment.
Hey, what's good? Thank you.
On the show today has been the
Happy birthday to you,
culmination
too.
of a lot of people's work.
What the?
What's up? All right, I had a dream about like this once. Yeah. Okay, so against everyone's better judgment, the thing has finally happened. Can I help you?
How do you think the show's going?
Good. We're getting the Nick Star system and the Vandal are coming.
Kind of been a lot of Nicks, right?
Well, yeah, but it's
Whoa,
a
how'd
major
they do this? This is
milestone.
really
It
good.
deserves a major showcase celebrating everybody's hard work. And
You got more, right?
well, yeah, there's spaceships coming out.
Cool.
Wow, it's like they only scanned the original community portion of me. If pictures steal your soul, imagine what face scanning in PCAP does.
Well, this has been super cringe. So I'm gonna head out.
Bye.
Oh, regular CitizenCon is still better. You should have done that.
Of course. Thank you. Part of me that isn't a soulless marketing puppet. All right.
What the?
No. No. No.
This is actually pretty good.
Let's just go to some spaceships, shall we?
Hi, my name's John Crew. I'm the Vehicle Director here at CIG, and welcome to Talking Ship, where we're going to talk about 3 new ships coming to the persistent universe.
It could have been worse. That's what I'm saying. I think he handled that. That could have gone bad. He handled that very well. He knew when the joke was done, got it done.
The last year has been
And also his acting was
in
pretty
terms
good.
of vehicle deliveries. I think we've delivered the most we've ever done in a 12-month period, and we've covered all the way from tiny little snubs
That was
all the
really
way up to
funny.
capital ships.
We've kind of filled out a few little gaps. We've introduced some new ships by some old manufacturers.
You had the Polaris come out, and obviously people have enjoyed playing with that.
Okay, we're looking for a new
snuck the
JPEG
Idris
concept
in
ship
without none of yous
and a
expecting
straight
for
to
while,
flyable
and
ship on our bingo
it's been a
card.
busy year. It's nice to start
Also
revisiting some of
Kraken.
the older catalogue and some of the bigger ships again.
Oh,
I think
Perseus is on here as
my
well.
Favourite ship from the last year is a tie between
Perseus
the
is
Wolf
already
and the
out.
Golem.
No, it's
Favourite ship in the last year?
Oh, I was thinking Polaris.
Probably the Wolf.
I feel like it's the obvious one. I'm trying to think of something else, but I really like the Wolf.
Everyone's mentioned the Wolf. The Wolf's everyone's favourite.
Wolf is a nice
obviously
ship.
a return of Kruger.
What's a Naboo fighter?
Completely new aesthetic to the game.
The Wolf was, it was kind of everything we set it out to be, and it revived an old manufacturer. We've not seen anything from a while, so yeah, I'm going to say the Wolf.
The Golem, I think, is just an incredibly well-formed ship in such a small package. It really just shows off that Drake aesthetic, giving you the absolute bare minimum
Yeah,
needed
Drake aesthetic. We all
to
love
perform
that.
a role.
I honestly do really like the Zeus. I think it came out really well. It's kind of hard to pin down a favourite, to be honest, because we've released, a lot of really cool ships.
Next year, we've got some super exciting ships coming up. We're ticking off a few big ones, which is good. We're going to
Go to bed at this.
see, again, maybe some ships from some manufacturers that don't have that many in their lineup. There's a few big challenging ones starting, so they're good. A breadth of ships, should we say.
The 3 new ships we're going to introduce today all tie in
Hey,
some
Doc,
way to the
you can
prime
live off
factions
6.5 for
fighting
a
over the
day.
Nyx system. We'll start with the People's Alliance and Anvil Aerospace.
Excuse me.
Anvil is a very military-based brand. It's been a brand that's in Star Citizen for a long time, fighting for lots of military contracts and lore, often up
Thanks.
against Aegis, and to the point it actually beat Aegis in the past. You will be familiar with a lot of their ships' designs, such as the Hornet and Lightning. Earlier this year, we introduced the Anvil Asgard, based on the Valkyrie chassis, which is an extremely popular offering. And this
I do
year,
like
we're
Anvil
bringing the
ships.
concept ship we introduced last year, the Anvil Paladin, to life. The Paladin is a gunship from Anvil Aerospace designed to support ground operations.
A gunship is a ship that's designed to sustain a sustained firefight while dealing a lot of damage, also taking damage.
We don't have a lot of gunships in the game that are true dedicated gunships. They are quite a tricky archetype to control in game without being too powerful.
Yeah.
It's designed with a lot of firepower and high armor and health, but very low maneuverability.
It's multi-crew. It's just built purely for battle. It's got lots of armor, lots of guns.
I mean, again, engineering
big
and armor
It's got a very
in Maelstrom
similar
are going
squat
to
kind of form to
fix a
the
lot of that
Valkyrie.
balancing
It
issue.
kind of reminds
Because
me
right
of,
now it's just a numbers
I guess, like
game
a
of
pit bull,
balancing, but like in the
obviously a
future
very
it'll be
menacing
an actual
silhouette.
physicality, right?
It looks quite forward-weighted in its stance.
it feels like it's coming towards you even when it's just sat still. And I think that's something that helps with it feeling intimidating.
If we swing round, following the ship round clockwise, what you'll then see is the first of the side turrets. If you notice the canopy, you'll see that there's a fairly thick space between where the glass is and the hull exterior. That's because it has deployable armor, which can come out and give you a little bit more cover while you're actually attacking the target head on.
It's got these really nice kind of dual connected wings with the turrets out on the sides, just to try and give as much kind of range for those turrets as we can get.
Which is controlled by one of the 2 remote stations underneath the bridge. If we come
The shape,
round to
yeah,
the
I don't care about the shape too much, but I do like anvil ships in terms of functionality and managing that with design. Ooh, I like that though.
Underneath, full 360
I like that
coverage
turret
on
that
top
drops
with it.
from top to bottom
And then
on
the
the
side
rail.
turrets
That's really
also
cool.
have 360 coverage that way around and 180 out sideways. So really you have, between the turrets, pretty much 360 coverage in all directions.
That's really sick, to be honest. Like, this would be fun for a small crew to instead of a hammerhead
unique
to
things
pull
about
out.
the Paladin is all the turrets are remote and all the crew are located in this one central 2-story room.
A lot of our other gunships, the crew gets scattered across the ship, but with the Paladin, you're all sat together with a nice, cool experience, so you can really feel like you're playing as a group.
Yeah, so if you want to do something with big guns as a smaller crew, this would be
I
nice.
think that helps with the intention of what the ship does, because you've got this really nice kind of like gunner viewpoint.
I mean, again, if someone likes
down,
Origin, I
giving
agree that
lower
aesthetics are
coverage.
important.
We added a glass floor just to keep the 2 connected. I think that really helps with the feeling that you're all working together and communicating.
That said, if you don't have the ability to fully crew a Paladin, you can still fly it and engage in combat solo.
Obviously not as good as if you have a full crew, but you can't always guarantee your friends are going to
Can
be
you
online.
slave any of the guns?
As a solo ship, it's pretty capable of doing a variety of missions within Star Citizen.
Look at
So
that
if you wanna run
chunky
this
turning.
ship
That
solo,
thing-
you can take on combat missions.
That's not gonna be best for PvPs
that,
though,
Say,
that's for
other
sure.
heavy fighters like the Scorpius or other ships such as the Drake Cutlass could do. Coming aboard the Paladin, you enter into this sort of armory, ready room area. You have a variety of suit lockers and weapon racks in this room.
Everything's very militaristic, stripped back, simple. It's a very functional space.
I like the sleekness of them.
But you'll find everything you need in there.
One of the improvements from the original concept is we've added a small dedicated cargo bay area, allowing you to store actual SCU crates.
Oh.
Forward of that is the route to the lower
What?
gunners.
Was that like 6
and
SU,
then
4 SU?
Upstairs, you have the bridge area, and then off that central area, you have the dual living quarters, one on the left, one on the right, and then at the rear, you have the main sort of engineering area where the majority of the components are. Also within the upper traversal area, you also have a little breakout area with seating, food machine, toilets, etc.
I think it's a very cool looking ship. I think we did a really nice job of taking what was there in the concept and adding an extra level of detail and trying to kind of push things forward.
I think it hits the nail in terms of a really solid military ship. It's really complementary to some of the other ships in the Anvil lineup, so something like the Valkyrie, where you've got this big drop ship. You know, the Paladin's there just to make sure it's safe, make sure no one messes with
The
you,
interior?
just basically scare people away.
The thing I like most, I think, about the Paladin is that it's very clearly got a crew of 4 and they all kind of work and operate under the same conditions. You know, the pilot, co-pilot and the 2 gunners, they're basically all equal on the ship. There's one toilet, everyone's got the same style of bunk. When they're at work, everyone's at the front of the ship together.
It's really odd to me that you call that, you like that there's one toilet for 4 people.
Well, you know, it's you all work together. You're all equal at work. You're
Toilet seat never gets cold.
Toilet seat never gets cold. Yeah.
So that's the Anvil Paladin. Whilst originally a military-built craft, it's the perfect ship for folks on the frontier trying to defend against threats. And talking of threats, let's move to our next ship, a replica from Hesperia.
It's actually a pretty big ship.
Hesperia are a high-end manufacturer. They specialize in recreating exotic and particularly alien spacecraft.
Effectively what they're doing is they're remanufacturing them, making them a little bit more suitable for kind of human flight. And the latest offering from Hesperia is the Vandal Stinger.
Oh, so you can fly it?
Vandal are big, scary space aliens. They're like 7-foot-tall, evil war race that sort of take over, steal technology, absorb it, fuse it all together into their own needs.
They are the relatively nasty aliens that you sometimes hear about and haven't seen much of yet. They also make really cool spaceships.
You've been hooked.
The Stinger as a Vandal heavy fighter was reserved for their higher tier sort of ace pilots or high-ranking members within their clans.
The Stinger is a competitor to something like the FA or I guess the Scorpius.
It packs a lot of firepower in quite a large frame, so it's a very, very tanky spacecraft. The firepower is almost unrivaled in terms of just both the number and the size of them. So it's there for players who don't want agility. They don't want to be in and out quickly. They want to be there brawling with big guns and taking all the hits. One thing Isperia have done differently with the Stinger is they have done away with the majority of the bespoke weapons.
They heard everyone's complaints about the glaive and blade and have stripped off the original Vandal weapons to allow customization for standard human weapons.
With the exception of the single size 5 gun.
Because it was too well integrated into the hull, even for Isperia to remove.
All the additional weapons are generic mounts, so they can
I
be
love
swapped
the
with
in-lore
any of the
explanation
existing
for them
lineup
not
that we
changing
have in the
stuff.
game. By doing this, provides greater flexibility to the end user, and this is something Isperia wanted for the civilian market. For that one bespoke weapon, the size 5 plasma cannon, functionally it is the same as the existing size 5 plasma cannons on the Scythe and Glaive, but it is a sort of Gen 2 model and wraps it in a different aesthetic compared to those models. You'll see they're very much older Vandal styling. This is much newer Vandal styling, but underneath it is the same weapon that people have used for years.
Our job as the vehicle art team on the PU was to take the Stinger from the squadron team and prepare it for life in the PU.
Hey, Nikki, how you doing?
Took an
Happy birthday.
opportunity to take, this really well-established art style and, add extra details where needed.
So the exterior is a real blend of these kind of hard surface, kind of rare alloyed kind of wings, and then underneath this real kind of organic structure that kind of webs all
Never
of the
mind.
ship together. It connects the thrusters in, it connects all
never
the
mind.
kind of underside of the vehicle and pulls the whole ship together.
You can tell it's very different from the Vandal ships that are currently in the PU. If you take, for example, the way the cockpits are constructed.
Up at the front, we've got this big kind of bubble dome that gives the cockpit quite a unique shape.
Well, you already have a
compared to
pilot.
some of our other ships, and also gives the
That's
pilot a unique position within the ship and kind of gives great visibility out the front.
Boarding the Stinger is a little unusual compared to other ships, obviously being alien in nature.
You're going through a ramp at the rear, and it leads you kind of straight up into the belly of the ship.
There's, lots of organic detail, rib cages, kind of strange alien forms.
On entry of the cockpit, the seat kind of comes down towards you, and you kind of climb over the back of it a bit like a motorbike.
You're basically riding into the cockpit. It feels very much like you're being carried inside the cockpit.
Into the traditional prone flying pose that Vandal pilots use.
I'm very happy with the Stinger. I think the team done a really good job of making something that feels different, it feels alien, but it suits our lineup of ships and it suits our universe.
I think the guys did a really good job of respecting the direction and vision from the original Stinger and
Thanks for patting the
Vandal
leaf.
ships and Squadron.
We've tried to take a lot of inspiration from
Gibbs
movies
made an appearance on my
and
birthday.
other science fiction material, but I think it sits well within the Star Citizen universe.
So we have the Paladin for the People's Alliance. We have the Stinger for people that really like
No, I
Vandal
don't want
and
it either.
want to try and
I
pretend
like the
to be
looks of
them.
it. It's a very good design.
But what about the other mysterious faction we have running around?
So Gray Chowdhury got his start as he was working at a cargo center out in Odin. He started being able to get his hands on some stuff that other people couldn't, items that necessarily you couldn't find on a store shelf, but you wanted anyway.
I think Gray is interested in, happy customers. Gray just sees themselves as a conduit to get these things in the hands of people who would appreciate them.
And I think that his latest offering is really going to turn some heads.
David tried to keep the gender a mystery, like who it could be.
So the ship,
by saying themselves, but
well,
the other guy's just like, yeah, him.
Don't really know what it is, to be fair.
It's what happens when someone
Yeah, the
who
person's name is Gray.
a genius at aeronautics and ship assembly is given free rein to do whatever they want. It's the best of whatever they can find lying around, put together to make something truly unique, wonderful, arguably beautiful, and just released out into the universe to see what happens.
At first glance at the exterior of the Shiv, I think
is this?
most people will probably recognize there is more than a fair proportion of a cutlass visible there. But
they call it the
it's
Shiv?
had quite a few changes to it.
As you look a little bit closer, you'll start to pick out elements from other ships.
I don't think Gray's alien, no.
Main thrusters that are from the Valkyrie.
Excuse me, thanks.
Even the bits that are obviously a cutlass have had panels welded on, panels removed. The top turret, which is now remote, is just this hodgepodge amalgamation with multiple other ships' turrets. And then the changes continue onto the inside where, again, it sort of feels cutlass-like, but then you'll find there's bits of Crusader ships just integrated into the wall instead of what was there originally.
This to me felt like what I'd expect the Vanduul ships to be
side
like.
entrance, some of its cargo capacity, but what it's gained is it's gained visually more powerful thrusters. It's gained a really kind of nice set of belly thrusters. It's upped its firepower.
As ever with the refined work from Gray's Market, you can see that great care was taken to the health and safety to ensure that there's no trip hazards anywhere.
There's like loose cables, panels are exposed. If you look carefully, you'll notice there are like tools laying around in the cockpit.
It's gained a toilet. Bucket.
Is it a bucket?
One for doing stuff, and then you need a second one to wash your hands.
Make sure that's locked down.
It's not an animal.
It has very much taken that ethos of Drake and moved it down a level, which I think is quite an achievement.
Just look at this thing. How do you even begin to describe the madness that created this? It's the Shiv.
It's like
something new and different for Star Citizen. Where did it come from?
Someone was drunk one night and started drawing it.
Just nothing. Just
no comment.
Yep.
Gray goes to places and talks to people. I mean, you know, there are just many ways to find these things that, you know, I mean, are they legitimate, you know, manufacturers? No. Are they operating on the right side of the law? Maybe not, but, you know, money's money.
Does Gray have a motto, an ethos to live by?
It probably comes down to, don't ask where I got it.
Don't ask how we got it.
Don't worry about it. Just ask if you want it.
I think the Shiv is for someone
Bucket.
that's looking for something
This is
a
a
bit
bucket.
different, a bit away from the norm. They just want something that's unique.
It's definitely for people who like a rustic aesthetic.
It's a fun ship, but it's also really strong, to be honest, and it's absolutely a statement.
Interesting.
I'm happy with the 3 ship offerings. They are obviously very combat heavy.
There's something we wouldn't normally release all at once, but honestly, all of them are a different statement and they're all cool.
As always, super excited to release these ships into the game and just see how players react and play with them. It's always fun to see the quirks and the shenanigans that people get up to with them. So that's Talking Ship for another year. So,
Yeah, you can't do the thing with Lexi. Talking weapons.
So I've just been informed that we have to do a bit of a timeshare agreement this year. So we have to throw it over to Alexi for Talking Weapons, which is an extremely original name.
That's funny.
I'm talking about the new edition that come out in October. The non-weapons are essentially the weapons that does not have a manufacturer, the weapons that you can think of that were made by space pirates.
Gray sells whatever he can sell.
Sometimes he gets his hands on some weapons that come from unknown origins.
He will sell things that no company in their right mind would ever make.
These are the most kind of
Stripped
like
down a study was literally trash.
scrappy and
I don't like
together
Drake
and the
alone,
most
let
kind of,
alone
like,
that.
pyro-ish weapons that you can think of.
Right now,
Hey,
we're
what's up?
releasing
You got some
new
ships. I
weapons.
mean, the biome stuff you
Rocket
joined with
launcher,
before was one of the coolest
the
things for me.
LMG, and
We're hoping to
the
maybe see some
long-awaited
engineering and base building after this.
Space AK.
So, Space AK. There it is.
I think this is the one that not only is the most in demand, but I've
Yeah,
been
everyone wanted the
politely
Space AK.
badgered about the most. It's a fun rifle that basically fires energy and ballistic in sequence.
Oh.
So your first shot will be your
What the
ballistic, your second shot will be the energy. You'll see on
Okay.
the top of the art there is a bolt that cycles the rounds, and that goes off with the ballistic shot, but it does not go off with the energy shot. And that is just like a really fun way of
an interesting
making
weapon.
a weapon work in kind of like a scrappy, glued together kind of aesthetic.
They're really going for the scrappy stuff. I mean, it's gray, right? I guess.
This thing is a really fun, slow-firing, hard-hitting beast.
Yeah, and the fact that you have
Bring the
different
50
weapon
cal,
types
and
too.
the only other weapons that have this right now in the verse are the Bearing Sniper Rifle and the Coda.
Honestly, if you even get hit by one, you just instant tier 1 injury.
I don't mind it existing, the shiv existing though, because. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what?
Are you
We
trying?
made all these really complicated, fancy guns.
Did he just say, are you
and
even
some
trying
people just
anymore?
want, I want a slow-firing rifle. Give me a scrap-together box that
I
fires.
like the idea
completely
that this exists in the verse though, right? Like I feel like it's
We don't have
canonically
a
something that
rocket
should
launcher
exist.
Of this
Someone's
caliber.
going to have
It
done
will be
this,
3
right?
grenades straight together that you pull
Oh, Jesus fucking
into the
Christ.
tube and fire towards your enemies. The cool part about it,
What are we
you'll
doing?
have an arming distance, so you'll not be able to just point it towards an enemy.
It's also going to have a lot of spread.
Tape grenade,
so
rocket
essentially,
launcher.
you're going to have to get very close with your launcher to be able to blow up ships with a single payload in it. You can't actually aim with the apparatus because you've got the tube on your shoulder and you try to aim it, you have to physically put the tube in your head. So we were like, oh, we can't have an aiming apparatus for this. And then we realized like, it's
That's
in the
fine.
spirit of being a tube that you can't use the aiming apparatus and you just kind of like, all right, I think that's the middle of the screen, I'm gonna hit it.
It's in the spirit of being a tube.
Wait, night vision goggles?
Are we gonna talk about binoculars? Binoculars are really cool. We
Binoculars,
don't have
okay.
anything like this in the verse, and I think it will be really convenient to use something that's dedicated to look for the things, especially far away, instead of using your sniper scope.
That is what a
for example.
binocular does.
Will the binoculars have glint?
I'm not aware of this one. Probably not, because binoculars are not something that you need to be aware of.
It's really funny because obviously, due to Glint Gate, as you know, I
Glint Gate,
beautifully
yeah. I
termed
hate
call
Glint.
it. Basically, there was a lot of community feedback, basically saying like, "Oh, I really like spotting people. I really like playing a spotter." And essentially, I was like,
It's a fair trade-off.
This community wants to be able to spot people from distances, and what can we make gadget-wise that doesn't require new features? And it was like binoculars. And I prototyped a thing which essentially was just a scope in a hand, and it worked. So we've got some really cool binoculars coming that allow you to spot people from distances.
And how much damage do the binoculars do?
That was night vision too.
Depends on how you throw them.
I like that because it's a decent balance of not having the
Alexei and
sniper
Zach.
rifles be
That's
overpowered.
the end of this
that
segment
you
for this
you
year,
look
so
for what
that's
you
talking
need.
ship and weapons, unless anyone else is going to come and tell me something else. It's been an exciting year, and I think the next year of ships. Is
And
gonna
and then
be
when you
even
want to
more
swap to your
exciting
weapon and reveal your
expansive than this year.
location, then you swap to the rifle. All right, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the lurk before. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
That is an eclectic bunch of combat ships for the verse. And they're all available right
And thank you for the
now
wishes.
up on the robertspaceindustriescom store.
Straight to
Also,
flyable.
any minute now, there's going to be a PTU drop that includes all three. So you can
Is this
fly
straight
them
flyable?
now ahead of their release next week when Alpha
Straight flyable.
432 goes live. 3 combat ships. I wonder if they'll have any
That's a
additional
great-
uses coming up later in the show. That's a hint. All right, what else can I shill? Oh, there's merch. We've got these cool new Levski desk mat things. These are always popular. There's some Levski metal posters on the store, and of
Levski
course,
metal posters could
love
be
them
sick.
or hate them, but you can't avoid them. There's this cool new Wickelow's Emporium T-shirt. Yeah. There's also a page published earlier today with a bunch of links to offerings from our third-party partners, from eye trackers to gaming chairs to voice packs to spaceship models from new partners like Planet Ring and Pigeon Spaceport and more. You can find all of that on the RSI website as well.
I really want the
And
Monster
what else
Tech
can I
chair.
show? Oh, for those of you who are at watch parties, where is it? Challenge coins. Who doesn't love challenge coins? There's these lovely Levski-themed challenge coins if you're attending one of the 9 official watch parties around the world. There's also a digital one of these in the goodies pack, so you check those out. Don't leave today without getting your Levski challenge coin. All right, what else can I shill? Now I'm kind of tired of shilling. All right, let's find out some more about where we are. Simon, can we move? Can we do? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay, here we go. Pardon me. Here we go. Excuse me. Hi. How you doing? That was my best angle. Hey, I got to be careful. Last year I took 3 steps and tore a muscle. All right, so this is the 9th floor of CIG Manchester's Manchester office. That's yoo-hoo! This is the room where we have lunch every day, and if you get here early enough, croissants, if the weapons team hasn't stolen all of them. Over here, we got some cool mannequins representing different aspects of the game. You got the ever-present, Hurston security armor over here. That's really cool. You got your Dusters armor right here. You got this guy from a game that we're not talking about today. Marine armor. Yeah, it's all pretty cool. And then when you come over here, got a nice little recreation area. There's some sim pits over there for people who need to test that kind of stuff. We got this cool Krigeri Bengal carrier.
That's huge.
Come over here, shoot it. Go down the nose here. Watch this. Very cool. I'm gonna go over here. Can you see me? Hi,
That's
Mom.
pretty sick.
All right. So yeah.
I want that.
What are you doing, Richard Towler?
All those chickens.
All right. I thought John was
I mean,
watching
you think
DC.
about, yeah, it's like,
Let's see,
you
what
think
else
about
we got?
that,
We got
but at the
Cool
same
Boys
time,
bar here.
it's also
this is where we get all
shows
kinds
confidence
of,
that they'll be
breakfast
around for a long
goodies,
time.
Coffee, stuff like that. Hey, who remembers the big coffee controversy of 2016 where everybody took
Also,
to Reddit and pondered the question, do devs
keeping your
deserve
employees
coffee?
happy.
I do. You want to see what next year's big controversy is? Check this out. I'm going to come over here.
I think he just brought
Do
up
devs
that
deserve
talk.
coffee?
It's like,
Welcome to the
Gotta keep devs
Stargarita
happy.
machine. Yeah.
Stargarita.
Do devs deserve frozen deliciousness? I don't know. Go to Reddit and let us know. All right, let's see. Let's go over here. Competition. Oh, competition winners. We have the list of competition winners. Can we put that on the screen? Yeah, competition winners. Remember the competition for the CitizenCon winners, the people.
Sure,
making
but that's not
videos?
sustainable for something like this.
And we gave them a Kruger L21 Wolf.
Right. You gotta
Who
actually have a
their
product that
names?
you're putting
They're
out.
behind me. Look. All right, that's cool. Also, everybody's got food. Do I have food here? Oh, somebody's supposed to save me pizza. All right, so we got. Oh, you guys saved me a lot of pizza. Let's see. There's like 3 different kinds of pizza here.
What is that?
What if we just combine them into like a challenger situation here? That's a CitizenCon throwback if you're not familiar with. So I have now crafted my own pizza experience.
Okay.
And that is a terrible segue into our next segment. Gemma, can we, Gemma, you there?
Yes, Jared.
Can we fire up the FPS crafting segment while I try to chew this off camera?
We sure can. Roll, BT.
Pizza. We have tandoori pizza downstairs. All right, crafting time. This is what we wanted to see.
Star Citizen, at its heart, will always be an enormous sandbox experience where you can set out to tackle the universe in whatever ways you
Wait, that's
want.
on the bingo card.
But that doesn't mean we can't shape parts of the universe here and there to better suit our needs. That goes for both you and us. Let's start this part of the show with a look at how crafting is going to change everything from
I don't see
resource
it.
gathering,
Oh, it is.
refining, and even
No,
combat
crafting is on
when it comes online
pizza.
in the next few
We have
months.
Nyx crafting, free space. We just need Castra and Bounty
First version
hunting.
of crafting is going to be quite small in scale. We're going to use it as a kind of a concentrated effort to allow the players to experience the initial
To
UI,
craft that way.
the flow of gathering materials that have different quality, and using those to craft items.
Bingo
which are
slots get
better
like
than
a-
what they have
an 8
currently in the game.
The first version is going to be primarily FPS items that you can craft, weapons and armor. For Star Citizen, crafting is our primary progression mechanic.
God,
Star
man.
Citizen isn't your standard MMO.
I'm gonna stand up
We
for
don't
this. I'm
have
excited for this.
levels. We have ships. We have gear. We have things that you create in the world.
have levels,
You
which is why I
perfect.
love
You
Outward
research.
as
You
well.
improve. And those items, those ships, those vehicles, the armor and weapons, that's how you progress in Star Citizen. Crafting isn't just a progression mechanic for creating new items. It's also a fundamental change to how we handle resources in the game. The materials that you collect, how you refine them, quality matters.
Crafting the weapons, you'll be able to have some quality materials to influence the item stats on those weapons.
It'll be somewhat random, potentially weighted on the location of the material. Some will have a higher chance of higher quality. And once you take those materials to your crafting bench, the fabricator, you can use them to craft, and the different attributes will be increased based on the quality of the materials you use. It's not just iron ore anymore, it's iron ore of the quality that you know will get you the stats for the item that you desire. And it's not just mining, it's essentially every resource we can get our hands on.
To support this, we also need major changes to inventory so that all of these new resources that you're collecting, you can see what you have, you can order it better, you can understand what you have in your inventory.
Oh, there's the
We
new
won't
UI
have
too.
The new refining crafting system yet. We'll be using the existing ones. Those will pass the quality through into the refined materials, which you can then take to your crafting machine and start making your personal items.
I don't mind it
Once
too
you have
much.
your blueprint and your quality
As long as there's a way to
materials
like
that you've
refine
refined,
that
then
RNG
you can put them together
into something
on the item
controllable.
fabricator. This will be pretty much what we showed in last year's CitizenCon, with the UI letting you assign your quality resources to different aspects of the item. Once you're happy with what you see on the preview, you'll be able to click to craft, and it'll get queued up, and your result will be produced sometime later. You'll be able to
at the
get
same, yeah, it depends what
new
it is.
crafting
Like
machine
RNG on the
from
drops,
shops in most
but definitely not
landing zones.
RNG on like
You'll be
Vita.
able
Like
to
I want to
bring
be able
it
to
up on your
search
freight
for something
elevator
and find the
use it
quality
in
I
your
want. I'm
personal
with you on
hangar,
that.
or tractor beam it around.
But random
and stick it
chance
on
for
a
the
ship
quality
if
is
you want
going to be
use it from
inevitable,
there.
right? Random chance that it spawns in the first place. It's just, can I choose
There'll be a
to
small
not
amount of
gather
blueprints
that
you get
resource
credited to your account
and go for
just
something
to
better
test and mess
that I would
around,
want.
but the vast majority of them will be earned through missions, and then you can use that blueprint to craft the item that it is that you've got the blueprint for. So it should be a good reason to go and test all the different various missions in the game.
The advantage of crafting your own items is that they'll be better than anything that you could buy from shops. You'll be able to increase and improve item stats that are relevant to your gameplay. Maybe a gun will shoot faster, maybe it'll do some more damage, or your armor will have greater resistances against environmental effects or incoming fire. You might be wondering, what about the upgrade and research? That will be coming in a subsequent release. We're happy with this initial scope for crafting.
It's going to be so valuable for us as devs to kind of get the metrics in, get the feedback in, because then we can make
the important thing here is they're
that,
saying is that the weapons
they
will always
only
be better
become
crafted, which means you can
obvious,
create
so to
an
speak,
environment of
when we
creating
have
shops
kind
of like
mass amounts
crafting
of
these
data
items
and
that
mass
other
amounts
players
of
might want to
users
buy. So that
using
focuses
it.
on
So I'm very
player-driven
excited
economy,
to
which is
get it out
something
in
I
the wild.
very
It's our
much
intention to
stand
get
by.
crafting out on tech
wholeheartedly.
preview by the end of the year and get the testing we need so we can release it when it's ready.
Testing by the end of the year?
So that's one way you'll be crafting your own experiences in the Star Citizen universe. But what about us? Where do we get to hone in and craft a bespoke experience here and there, specifically tailored to individual or small group play? Well, that's where instancing comes in. And I'm going to let
I
Benji
don't like
tell you a
instancing,
little
so
bit.
let's see if they can convince us. I'll keep my
We're
mind
bringing
open,
instancing
but
to Star Citizen in 2026. Why are we doing it, and how will it work? So if you've played any content in 2025 in Star Citizen, you know that most of these areas were in actual PvP zones where other players could interfere.
Of course.
Instancing is a means to create an environment where designers can create tailored content that's tuned to a specific group size, but it is also protected from outside interference.
Sure, but the point is that
It's
you
not
should
to say that
create
we don't love PvP.
systems
I'm a PvP guy.
in the world that allow for
PvP me, bro.
PvE experiences because the systems are good enough,
But like
law
most
systems.
MMOs,
there should
good balance
always be a
between
risk of
dangerous
PvP in a
overworld
world
and a
like
protected
this, right?
instances
There should
is
never
needed.
be
Right now,
pure
we don't have this ability, and this is something we
pure
really need in order to give you a sense
sheltering
of
for
progression
PvE players.
that is tailored
In my
and
opinion.
balanced to a tunable
Oops,
amount of
what'd you
groups.
do?
So the difficulty matches the group size. There's a beginning and an end. It doesn't mean that that
I don't know.
doesn't fit in our
I just think
overworld
PvE
strategy,
players
meaning
should always
getting
have
to the
some
instance
level
is
of
dangerous,
inherent
exiting
risk.
the instance is dangerous,
But
or can be
minimized
interfered
based
with
off the
others.
systems in
But
the
at least when you're playing the content, we can actually make something that's curated for one
And I guess the
experience.
inherent risk is you could die to the
So
the
before
NPCs,
anybody
but like
says
that
this is only a PvE thing, this technology can also be applied to unlock curated PvP experiences that are as seamless.
Sure, I
as
mean
the
that's like
So it's not about one thing or the other. It's really about unlocking developers' ability to create curated content.
I don't really like that
So
with
that
PvP
said,
especially.
how will it
Like I was
work?
willing to shove that
Instancing
aside for
is really an
PvE,
evolution
but
over static to dynamic.
they're not really
machines.
selling me on it.
We want your instances to be as seamless as your instance hangers, meaning that when you take an elevator, you exit the elevator, you're inside the instance. A gateway opens, you cross that gateway, you're now into your instances. Could be also a quantum jump into an instance that you don't even see. The transition
What do you
is
mean
just
quantum
like a
jump into
dynamic
an
mesh
instance?
transition. And so throughout the universe, we will be able to add these areas that are open or closed instances that allow you to
No,
join
no,
in
no,
either
no,
with
no.
a party and
No,
have a
no, no,
reserved
no.
instance for your party, or join an open instances that has a number of slots. And so some of those areas will be completely
There should be
instanced
no
on
part
different
of
servers.
space
This
that
allows
is
us to
instanced.
leverage the compute power of the entire mesh.
No,
The
I
closed
think
ones
it's a
will
really
be
bad
really
call.
to drive one piece of content. You enter and exit seamlessly, just
This
like
goes
we do with your
completely
instance
against the
hangers.
design philosophy of
Let's
of
go and
Star
find
Citizen.
out what one of our first instances will be.
Siege of Arzen was an event we did previously, which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Arzen. This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you and a small group to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
Yeah,
And
I
you are there
agree.
to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization.
This is going to be the
take
biggest
back
criticism
control.
I've ever had of this game.
So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about a 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back and be the sniper and pick people off who are a bit further to make the advance easier. Some of you will be the medic who sole job is going to be revive and look after the rest of your team and the health of them. And some of you will be the people who push for the objectives to try and get sort of most of the mission done. The event was designed for about 15 to 30 people, but when we released it, we fixed the problem with 2 DGSs on one server that was fighting for resources. And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was a massive operation at the time. I think that bringing it back and giving it a refresher will be
exactly.
a fantastic addition back into the PU.
So imagine if Siege was a instance that you could go in and play solo, or if it was a public event that you could go with your friends, or you could join up with random players on the server. There's lots of ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
I'm excited, to say the least, to bring back Siege of Orison to Star Citizen and to sort of have it be one of the first tests that we have for instancing and really get it back to sort of a core experience point where it should be. So while the next season is quite heavily focused on Nyx, I'm also very happy that we're not really ignoring our other 2 systems of Standard and Pyro, and we're going back there and we're sort of improving and expanding on the player's life in those 2 systems as well.
Yes, And while things like Genesis, interstellar hauling, crafting, Siege of Origin, and more will reveal next year, will continue to bring life into the existing universe outside of Nyx, there's still one more exciting use for instancing we're building right now. It's an earlier look than normal, and some of it is still in white box, but we're excited to share the first look at a major content release of 2026, and what it means for progression-based gameplay. As an evolution of our Building Interior initiative, you won't discover it by accident, because when it's complete, it will be found deep within the heart of Levski itself. This is the Municipal Works. So inside the facility, you'll find huge vaporization chambers, old processing plants, industrial tunnels, and eventually into the old turbines, which are still pumping heat into the old rock.
So this is the true history of Levski. This is a place where you won't see in Lorville, you won't see in I-18 or the other landing zone. It's the pure basis of Levski. You will have, of course, metal and tunnels and more structural place, but you will also see a lot of rock and cave. So it's not a place you go to take vacation. It's really a place you go to fix stuff.
Not everybody has what it takes to come down there and do the job that needs to be done.
All of your sewage systems have stopped working. Everything's going to quite literally. And so the player is tasked with their group, most likely, to go into there, take out the outlaws, and get the facility working again.
So let me get this straight. This is literally a mission to fix the toilets of Levski.
It's not just the toilets. You're also trying to turn on the air. Air is a bit more important. It still works in Levski, but they have maybe polluted air because it's not being cleared properly. It's not just for the toilet.
Poop mission.
It's also a little bit more exciting than just going into some vents. It's like a free-layered system where there's 3 chapters.
This will be mission-driven and repeatable. Everything from mining to salvage to combat to investigation, a variety of roles. Narratively, it's a real sandbox. Every progression you do will unlock a new area that will link back to previous areas, complexifying the play space.
We've been wanting to have more gameplay around landing zones for a long time. Now that we have instancing tech coming online, that allows us to do something that provides really cool gameplay close to a landing zone.
With the missions, that's what will create different overlays or change the spaces or change the progression, but it'll be the instancing which will enable us to create tailored content to you and your group. So you're going to be able to play a part of it, make your progress, and then log off. And then the next time you come online, you'll be able to pick up where you left off.
It's going to allow players to return back to it at different states, depending on how much you've progressed, and be able to keep it going until you've reached sort of the end of the whole 3 chapters.
Where you're not going to have other people getting in your way. It's you, your team, your party.
It's a way of giving players content where
what's up,
they
Retro?
know exactly where they're at, and they can keep going back to it and improving sort of their own progress and ability to jump through them in faster and faster times as well.
So that's a look at how we'll be allowing players and developers
I'm getting
alike
downvoted so hard
to
on my
create
comment.
more crafted experiences within the greater sandbox of the persistent universe. Okay, is that it for me at this point, Jared?
Almost. Throw it back to me, and I've got one more for you after this.
Back to you, Jared.
Everybody's really excited about the year ahead. So that's a brief look at some of the ways in which we're allowing you and our developers to craft a more curated Star Citizen experience. Now, at this point in the show, we are in the home stretch. We've got Only one more segment to go. But before we do
Scripts.
that,
Okay, I'll try one.
we wanted to check out. We said earlier in the show that we would look at what you were saying during the show. We looked at how to.
Yeah, I want to go
YouTube
somewhere knowing that
comments
someone
on
did
the,
something
on
there
the
and I can go
stream,
see it. My
and,
friend's just there. I
it
can
was
just go there
immediately
without worrying
apparent
about
that we were gonna
being in the
lose our
wrong
broadcast
instance. You know?
license, so we're not going to do that. We did find some social media stuff on
I missed the
Twitch
ending there.
stuff,
What did
or
you
not-
say? Okay,
Twitter,
never mind.
X.
Too.
What is it called now? Let's see what this says. Let's
so.
see. We've got welcome back Levski from. I'm not wearing my glasses. Oh no. Oh, time to suit up. Let's go get him, says Ubu. I really should have worn my glasses.
Whoa.
Cue the bagpipes.
Those are good.
That's the other game, Charlie
Huh?
Oscar. Let's see.
Yeah. That's good.
Nice to see you live, Jared.
Hey, Seeks, what's
Mom?
good? How you been?
Let's see.
Thank you
First
very
citizen
much.
after playing
Happy
for
birthday
almost
to you
a decade
too.
in Austin. Oh, nice. Straight out of Klesher, back to the Hex. Photos from Leicestershire. How do you say it? Is that Leicestershire? Leicester? Leicester? Geez, I've only been in the UK for 3.5 years. At San Jose Bar Citizen Watch Party. Oh, somebody created a lovely Vandal mask.
Yeah, my whole YouTube channel was built around Star Citizen for years.
Sean Tracy, can we get that in game? Just that.
And
exactly.
I'm also
Just
streaming
scan
on my
that, put that in
YouTube.
game.
So,
All right, so that's a few
my
reactions
main
we're
Leafx
seeing
channel
on,
was Star Citizen for a
social
while,
media
and
right
then
now.
before
we get
now
to
I want to
our
do like
big
other games
finale,
too.
or
So I made a
that we're
Leaf
gonna wrap
SC
up the show
channel.
with today. I did want to talk a little bit about big CitizenCon versus digital CitizenCon versus what we're doing today, which is CitizenCon Direct. Every year, CitizenCon is a monumental task for any number of people, whether that's development, marketing, the support teams, the platform
Yeah, a lot of people come by and they're like, I didn't know, and I'm like,
together
I tweeted
to
a lot,
make this
but
thing,
I think it just doesn't
happen
show it to people and stuff.
Go off, hopefully without a hitch.
But my
So far,
Discord,
we've been
like,
doing all right.
that's our most active channel right now is our Star Citizen channel.
You know who you-
Rocket League's all right, but yeah, Star Citizen's pretty busy.
They had to know. But doing CitizenCon is
well,
not
bad news,
always the
instancing.
easiest thing for our
Good
developers.
news, Genesis looks really good.
You might not assume this.
Couple
but
new
most game
ships.
developers
They
are not
just talked
social
about crafting.
butterflies.
They haven't showed base building
They
yet,
tend
though.
to like to sit quietly in the dark at their computers, like little goblins, and just make digital virtual worlds like this. And then I come in all happy and like, hey, you want to be on video? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it's in your contract. And they're like, oh yeah. So we thought, we usually do it behind the scenes afterwards, but we thought we'd do a little bit of it here. The folks in the editorial department put together a brief montage of some of the more candid moments from the filming of CitizenCon.
But the instancing, in my opinion, I think that's,
Take a look at that.
man,
Let's see what they put together.
that's so close to ruining the game
How many
for me.
citizens have you
I'm not going to lie.
Performed? Just the one. Nope, my first one.
One last year.
Two.
A few.
I did play distance. I streamed it
nine?
actually.
Maybe 9
I didn't
or
finish
10?
it yet, but
Never.
instancing basically is when you go to an area, you're going to be in an area.
Completely terrified.
The other
It was good.
players.
Bit stressful.
It's like in
The first
MMOs.
live one
of my
was
videos
the
of why
best.
Star Citizen
Weird
was good is that it
combination of
didn't
going
have
from
instances.
insane highs to insane lows.
When you go to an area like a dungeon, you go in there, it puts you in an instance, and you might see a certain amount of people, but someone else might go in there and be a
Pre-game's
different
always fun,
instance,
but
and
the
you
live
won't
events
see
are
them.
special, aren't they?
Star Citizen, you always saw everything.
That weird
but
crack house
in
Anchos.
and that's why it was good.
I like the live ones.
The whole point of server
I
meshing
mean, I
is that
love
you
these
don't.
digital ones. These are the best.
Every time I've done it,
I know,
I've
it's probably
done a
long gone.
digital one, and I'd like to do one on stage.
Is it because you have a restraining order against you, or
Distancing. That's funny.
Didn't know if I was going to be sick. If I was
Yeah,
gonna
instancing as a.
lose my stomach.
how hard is it to keep your eyes open on stage?
That's not a problem with the lights. They're kind of, I'm realizing through the sentence that I'm closing my eyes as I speak. Do I do that a lot?
I am a very shy individual, so this is me just trying to get out of my shell.
Getting the crowd to react to
Server
the
meshing.
ideas that
That's
we've
the
been
whole.
working
That's
on for so
what
long.
we thought.
We can react.
That's the point of it, right?
Everybody.
Yeah, it only
could
does up
feel
to
your
30
passion
days.
from
Fides.
it.
That was a while ago. I'm gonna get cooked on that comment I left on Reddit. I guarantee
30
it.
seconds, I'm like, do I stand up? Do I sit down?
no.
Do I drink? Do I not? Do I talk?
This will be the best one.
Minus 10 upvotes.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
Because it's nice and short.
A lot of people replying to me though are
Is
saying
this all supposed to be usable content?
agreeing with me, but I'm still gonna download it.
Of all your nicknames, why is Moistmaster your favorite?
I think you mean least favorite, and because it has the word moist in it. I mean, come on.
We'll give you a new nickname by the end of this.
Sounds good. Could do
All
with
right,
one.
let's get started.
So for those of you watching at home or at the watch parties, you're like, why are we showing that? I put that in there because I'm eternally grateful for all of the CIG staff and developers who take the time to appear on these things, whether it's ISE, SCL, CitizenCon, walk on stage, be pre-recorded.
Probably like 2 years ago, to be
It's
honest.
not the easiest thing for everybody. And on behalf
No, maybe
of
like
the
a year and a
community,
half
if
ago.
I can speak for them in this regard, I want to say thank you for
Yeah,
participating in these things each and every year.
Sure, but the thing is, they want to instance bubble like
let's
areas
wrap
of
things
space.
up here.
You might quantum
So,
jump into an instanced area.
Let's see, how do I want to do this?
That I do not like.
At this point,
I was
we've
willing
only
to
got
shrug
one
off
major
instance
story-
dungeons
one major
because
story
then
left
they're
to
just
tell.
a way
But
and
before
I
we
don't
do that,
accidentally
would
fall
it be-
into those
we wanted
instanced
to
areas.
do
I don't want to be in an
one
area
more
mining,
check-in,
being like, man, it's nice and
on
safe out here, and
something
not
we
realizing
started
there's no
last
inherent
year.
risk. The
Last
point
year,
for me is that there's inherent
Rich Tyler
risk.
took the
you know?
stage and presented his roadmap to 1.0.
I
And
wrote
we
it
didn't want to
here.
go an entire year without talking to the senior game director himself to get his update on that 1 year later. So we're going to throw it to him. And
So again, I am talking to
we're
people
gonna
on
go to our
YouTube as
last
well.
segment,
That's why, in
and
case
when
you're
we come
wondering
back, we'll say our
why I'm
goodbyes.
talking to multiple people.
And if you're at a watch party, it's time to get. I was going to say, that's not a word I can say on the camera. Let's just go. Let's just throw it back to me. Go to me from 1 week ago.
Okay.
Last year, Senior Game Director Rich Tyrer took to the stage and revealed our plan for 1.0. Now, before we end this year's CitizenCon Direct, we wanted to take a few moments and follow up on that reveal from last year to do as we've done today and look at the year ahead. So, Rich, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Well, you're welcome.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Everybody knows the only constant in game development is change. So I'm going to ask you outright, what's changed about the road to 1.0?
Well, fortunately nothing. It still remains our North Star. The team is busy working towards that goal in the background, and every patch this year has moved us towards that goal. And if you haven't watched the Star Citizen 1.0 presentation from last year, I highly recommend you do so, because everything in it is still relevant as of today.
You mentioned every patch this year has moved us towards that goal, so I want to dig deeper into that. We've done, at this point, 9 releases in this year, more than any year prior. How does each one of these not just sit as their own moment in time, but move us forward on this road to 1.0?
Well, last year I discussed the framework of 1.0, how all those complex systems can tie together. And one of the core aspects of that was the main story, which became the spine of the universe, which brought all of the locations, mission givers, guilds, and all the different areas of the game to the players. Now, what I didn't talk about from last year was all of the content that was going to support that framework, add the flesh to the bones, should we say. And I think that's where this year has moved us towards that goal. If you think about previous events of previous years, they've generally been locations that we've put into the verse, but they've been transient. We've taken them away, like Siege of Orison or Zenithreat. We've added them to game, and then they've been moved away. And I think with the addition of the patches this year, when you look at the Hathor facilities, Onyx facility, these are permanent.
I'm genuinely
additions to the
so
world
fucking rattled by that.
Not only have their own story,
Like-
as when we release them with the patches, but they'll also become points of
I
interest
feel like
and areas that
I was
the
getting
larger
another
1.0
resurgence of
narrative
motivation,
will
and then
use
all of a sudden just got
Since we're on
sucked
story,
out of me
I'm gonna
completely.
stay with this here. Since we launched the PU back in 2015, it's always been this sandbox where players.
And
can
I'm worried
do what
because
they
I feel
want.
like
They can
so many
bring their
people
own story to the
wanting this
verse,
to now be a
and that'll
PvE
never
game
change.
are gonna back
But
this.
how important is it that we also build this?
And the
concurrent
people that
narrative of
wanted
our
what the
own,
game was
this
originally
crafted
promising are just gonna get
experience, if you
stifled
will,
out.
alongside that.
Well, we're trying to create a living, breathing universe. And that includes both the player stories that you mentioned, that they can go and enjoy and create their own memories together. But it also means that we want to have a universe that gives back. We want areas and locations to feel like they're believable and real life locations. And if you look throughout this year and the patches that we've worked towards, we've had an overarching story that's moved from patch to patch, and we're going through some of those cycles right now. We've also been introducing mission content that has fully voiced dialogue and facial animation, which allows us to inject some of the meaning and the why to what you are doing as a player. And I think story is integral to Star Citizen as a connective tissue that ties all of these different complex systems together, because it takes players on that journey throughout the game.
To see this big turn this year to start injecting story into the verse, I think people are really responding to it. So everybody knows, and you mentioned just now, that this year we changed a whole lot about how we operate and how we release things.
How do you think that's gone?
I think it's gone very well. I think if the mantra that I've always been pushing this year at the beginning of January was patch always goes. And I think this year has seen a different development strategy for how we've been moving the game forward. That's where this different strategy has allowed us to really take a wider approach. And we also have to remember that Star Citizen is played by tens of thousands of players every day. And while we have lofty future goals, we still have to make decisions right now that make the game fun for the people that are playing it all the time, as playing it as their daily game. If you look at previous years, we've had to hold a patch back, we've had to make concessions, mainly due to around a feature may not have been ready or right to go into there.
There were 3 months, 4 months, sometimes 5 months between patches.
Exactly, and I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't think it's good for the players. I don't think it's good for the development team. I think it's better to have regular cadence of drops. One good example is this year for A Line of Mine. People probably don't know, but A Line of Mine, when you turned on the laser, it was actually supposed to reveal the sandworm Valakar.
Yeah,
and I played it.
It's very disappointing. Like, I'm going to see how the discussion plays out around this, but like...
So we changed, and I took it out, and I made that decision.
Like, what's the limit? Like, what's the limit to instanced areas, right? Like, does it start with one area per system? Does it turn into multiple? Does it turn into... I want to know when I'm in an instance system so I can just fucking leave.
I want to dispel a myth right here.
I don't want to be there secretly.
Still being worked on quite heavily in the background, from radar and scanning, in FPS, the new quantum, to inventory, engineering, and crafting, and all of those features are going to be coming very, very soon for players to get their hands on. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say that if I was to go back to the start of the year, I would hope that we would have released more features. But I also think every decision we've made this year has been through the lens of making the live experience as stable and as good as possible.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a bit about the year before. And the year before has been, I've said this before, I've said it internally, I've said it out there, I'm going to say it right now again on camera. I think this has been the best year of Star Citizen ever, and I'm willing to look right into the camera and say that. The player numbers are up, engagement numbers are up, the length of the play sessions are up, bug numbers are down, 30K is gone. It's been a solid year. But CitizenCon isn't CitizenCon without talking about the future, so I want to move us to the future. We've talked about story, we've talked about this more diegetic, immersive universe and adding voice lines and stuff like this. But where do we go from here? Obviously that continues, but what more are we going to do to make this universe seem alive and real and breathing?
I think the biggest thing is to start having that conversation be two-way. So if you think about this year, like you mentioned, we've been having fully voiced NPCs, but a lot of those missions and those NPCs, they're talking to you, they're talking at you. Right. You don't get to talk back to them. Now, obviously, you get to interact with them through your actions. You get to go and do their mission, and you get to move that along, and then they talk to you again. But it's a one-way conversation.
We're missing that conversation wheel.
Exactly. The next part would be physical mission givers. That's something that we're going to be working towards very soon, with Battaglia being the first one coming back in the verse. And just to be clear, we will be bringing all the mission givers eventually back, and we want them to be an integral part of the verse and the story that players go and enjoy. We want the locations to be brought to life, and as we mentioned last year, we want to have interactive scenes that you can go and be part of. And obviously the full end goal is towards, you know, to have cinematic stories in the game, and that is what we're going to be pushing towards. Everything we do, every decision we make is through the lens of moving us closer to 1.0. It might sometimes be difficult to see why those decisions have been made at the time they've been made, but rest assured that Star Citizen 1.0 is still our North Star. That's what we're still aiming towards, and that's what we're going to be moving forward with every patch next year as well.
And remembering when mission givers were first introduced, they sometimes became a bottleneck. Is there a role in instancing, which we learned about earlier today? Is there a role for instancing in that, in helping with mission givers?
Yes, partially. It will be one mechanism that will allow us to have players go to their own individual area of the verse, have that conversation, and then go and continue on into the open world environment.
Yeah,
so
I feel
think
that.
That's
I feel
where,
that.
when we look at instancing provides us one tool that allows us to remove that bottleneck and provide a more seamless experience.
Happy you said that, because that's one of our last topics.
Again, I'm going to let the conversation play out over the next little while here.
How we reconcile instancing with the persistent universe. Like, for the last 10 years,
Definitely took some wind out of the sails.
Giant, seamless, persistent universe where everybody can come in and play together, and it would be easy to have a first instinct reaction to the idea of instancing and say that's antithetical.
Yes,
to everything that Star
it is.
Citizen. But you mentioned last year these 3 pillars of building Star Citizen in the PU, and I want to. You said nothing changed, but I want to ask you about this specifically. What are those 3 pillars again, and how does instancing fit within the greater design of Star Citizen?
So the 3 pillars I mentioned last year were open world. That's just like the missions you love today. You can go and play. There's other players there, and you can go and enjoy that together. Then we have instancing, which I'll talk about more, but similar to municipal works that we've talked about previously. And then the 3rd pillar was dynamic content, which would be content that's generated by the activities of the players. And I think it's very easy to become myopic around one specific thing when we're talking about it a lot, when it's the next stage of our development. And I think you could reverse it. If we'd have made a game that was all instance, and then I'd come on camera and said, hey guys, we're going to start doing it open world, it would be like, oh, is the game changing? Are we doing open world now? Is open world the new North Star that's going to take us this way? And it's not. It's just one more tool.
It sounds like gaslighting to me.
Allow us to offer different and dynamic experiences for players to go and engage in. Now, when I talk about instancing isn't always what you'd imagine as a solo instance experience where it's only just you. We're going to have several different versions of instances. Some are going to be closed instances, which will be like the new player experience. We'll be able for you to go in by yourself, for us to teach you the ropes in a safe environment so that you can understand how to play the complex game that we've made. But we'll also have open instances, like a cantina or a bar, where we might say, hey, we only want 50 people to come in here because we've got mission givers and we've got other NPCs for you to talk to, and you would just walk in and it would be seamless. You wouldn't know that there was an instance, it's not going to get a loading screen, you would just seamlessly walk into that location.
Yeah.
It would be full of other players and NPCs, and you can go and enjoy the content. And that's, I think, something that instancing is going to provide us. It's going to give us a tool to offer different dynamic content, or curated content, as I'd say.
What's the word I'm looking for?
It allows us to create experiences that are different to the open world experiences that we've already made. And it's not to say that we won't continue our open world development or only do instance content. It's going to be a mix. And like I said, this is one of the pillars that will move us towards 1.0. We will eventually work on dynamic content that will move us towards 1.0. And all 3 of those pillars will interweave to create the full Star Citizen experience.
All right, so we've hit a lot of the bigger topics, the feature work.
What's the word I'm looking for?
And FPS crafting.
When they're trying to, when they're creating,
I think it starts with
we've
D, talked about instancing and how that's going to work within the universe. But I want to ask you this one last big one. It's very easy to say Star Citizen is this kind of game and that kind of game. Those of us who spend our days making it know better. It's an everything game. It's everything we can make it game. It just,
and you're defending a point,
at the core
not
of this
create
is
excuses.
Still spaceships. You know, that life of spaceships.
To validate
what more can you
you're
tell
saying.
us about spaceship gameplay in the future? What can you give us? What can you tee up for us to look forward to for those of us who are really into Star Citizen for the spaceships?
Our intentions going forward are to make sure that every ship or ship archetype that you acquire has a role and has content that you can go and enjoy in the universe. For example, right now I know that we're working on more robust mining missions, more robust salvage missions. We're going to be working on refueling missions. And we want to make sure that each and every one of the ship has a purpose and has a reason to exist in the game. That's from the smallest Argo MPUV, as well as ground vehicles, all the way up to the large capital ships. We want to give them purpose. And I think it's something that we are absolutely aware of. We want to make sure that we're building that spectrum of content to allow players to go and engage in. And I think 2026 is going to be a very good year for Star Citizen. And I think there's going to be something that's very interesting and something that a lot of people have been waiting for. But rather than me spoil it, I'll let Ian and the team go into the details on that.
He had a twinkle in his eye. Ian, take it away.
So the persistent universe has existed for over 10 years now. During that time, we've created lots of gameplay systems, we've added hundreds of locations, we've added lots of mission activities for different purposes: combat, cargo, mining, salvaging.
I think just the fact that they had to do
the only
that
thing you've been able to do is
shows
fight other
enough
combat
that they
ships.
know that there's
In
going to be a
2026,
it's not
We're going to be
ideal.
delivering a
What's up, Gabby? How you doing?
activity
It's
space,
true.
which
Justify, yeah, I did
incentivizes
validate.
the use of different gameplay
Justify, I
roles.
think, might have been
These
closer
are
to
going
what I
to be
was looking for.
scenarios where you're going to have to plan and strategize and create operational tactics to overcome your objective. So what you're going to see is very early. It's early in the pipeline process, and it's going to come online about mid next year. But we're really excited about the content we're creating, so we want to share with you a super early look at what we're building in a space we're calling Tactical Strike Groups.
The People's Alliance are still trying to get to the bottom of what this new faction is really doing in the Nyx system.
It was sent a capital ship to check out a station and run into more than they can take care of themselves.
Unfortunately, that team came under attack and members of their groups were taken hostage. Now they've reached out to Intersec, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot. Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid, kind of broken asteroid, and on this you will have this base where you will find 3 big arms. You will see in the middle, you will have this.
I'm
big
good.
base
Just
energy core.
typing everywhere. Mid next year, 20. Yeah.
Everything
Man,
has a purpose.
the fact again, the
It's
fact they
not
just had a
just
whole
for the show,
gaslight section.
just
Like if they
something
didn't need to justify that decision, they wouldn't have had that section at all. Like if it fit within the design, we'd be like, cool, awesome, this is great. But they knew, they foresaw that there would be problems because sure, it's one aspect of the game.
So your first objective here is
and maybe
to
the
clear
game
out
could
ships.
still be great,
There'll
but the
be
point
waves
is
of these
it's
ships,
not.
So this is what you want, your light or your
They-
medium or your heavy
they are
fighters,
shifting
whichever playstyle you prefer.
Away from the core, not just a certain feature, but the core of the game. How far, the fact they're willing to do it once, how far are they going to do it in the future? That's the problem. Sure, maybe it's only 5% right now. And if it stays 5% forever, great. It could still be an amazing game. But I can't trust that it will only stay
This
5%.
station has been
Because they've
outfitted to
gone from 0 to
resist
5
all
when it's
of
supposed to be
the
0, right?
obvious way of attacks.
Somehow they've incorporated Vanduul capital ship killing turrets. These turrets ignore small fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
Space for Human is my home where I can live safely in common without worries.
Your Polaris
of the
and your
world.
Idris, if you get
Yes,
close,
because you're
will
Eldian.
get shredded. The idea of these is so we can sort of make it so we can mix up that ship combat.
Good to
and
see you
not
there, Gabby.
everyone
I'm
can just
glad to
bring
hear you're
the
doing good.
biggest ship and win just because they have the biggest ship.
You have to send out your best pilots to navigate the superstructure and take down anything that may damage your bigger ships. So at this point you're thinking, destroy the turrets. But it's not that easy. This turret has shields that you've never seen before. It won't take any kind of damage. Your missiles won't do anything, your lasers won't do anything, your ballistics won't do anything to them. But like everything, they do have a weakness. You have to cut the power to their shields.
I think
To do
reset
that
and be on
actually
time.
brings
They
you
already
to
do
your
that
first
with like
objective.
sections like
Power
Hathor,
relays.
right? They already have these raid things that are
So the
multi-step
exterior has a number
processes
of
where
power
it
relays
resets after
that are
time,
holding the
and then
doors
every
closed.
player has to go and
You
fight
have
for
to
that
find
spot.
them,
But you just
you
have
have to
multiple
target
locations
them,
where it
and you
happens.
have to
So you're not
destroy them.
you're not
But
centralizing
it
every
may
player
not
into one
be
spot.
as easy as
again,
it
I'm
seems.
also
Here's our first
willing
wrinkle. The
to
power
just look
relays
away
have their own
from
shields
instance
that are resistant
dungeons.
to
That was the one. That was as far
We
as I was
know
willing
how
to say,
much you
okay,
like using
I'll accept
laser
the
repeaters,
instancing for.
but so do these
But the
guys.
fact that it's now in a space I can accidentally come across by
Capital ship
quantum
can't
jumping
go
into
enough
an
because of
instance
the turret.
space is a
So
problem
ships
for
with
me.
explosive
Because I can't just
or
tell
ballistic
someone,
ordnance will be
hey,
needed.
come to this location.
That's
Because I don't know if they're going to end up in
torpedo
the same
ships like your
instance,
Retaliator or
right?
Gladiator, or even another fighter with ballistic.
I don't want to end up in a space where I'm just safe. I want the point of an open world like this is that there is always inherent risk that I have to take steps to mitigate, right? And it takes away
Once the
that
power
that
relays have been
planning
taken
aspect.
down, the station opens up.
And this is where things get really cool.
Now it's time for
Driving
you to
funny
fly
trucks in the
your
mud.
ship to
Hey,
the
thanks for
station.
coming by. I appreciate you, Gabby.
You
Good luck
in
with your
ship
mud.
flight
playing
into
in the dirt.
superstructure of this station.
How cool is that?
I feel like this
Again, I
is
don't like the
crowd dad
dungeons,
mode.
but that one I was willing to look away for.
We're just gonna call
But
it
the
what
fact
it
that
is.
I can
It's a
accidentally
trench
end up in one of these spaces is problematic to me. When that's not what the game's fundamental pillars are. And they talked about the pillars, but they've now
as you enter the
introduced those
structure,
pillars. There was
you'll see
already
cool
pillars
units
holding
along
the
the sides
project
that you'll
up
need to take out.
that made it sturdy, and they've added another one for some reason.
There's 3 arms to the station that have these
Just like I'm
trenches.
imagining
You'll
people
fly
on the
into
toilet
one,
kicking
and
his
then
feet.
there'll be a core in the center, and then you'll move out another trench.
You're either gonna do it multiple times, or you need to bring friends.
At this point, the core is
Yeah,
still
that's fair.
protected, so these are essentially strafing runs.
Again, this is an open discussion. Again, I'm not sitting here saying it's
Objects to
it's
avoid.
GG.
You're
I'm
gonna
just
have to
saying
be
I'm
able to dodge.
disappointed.
You're gonna have to
I'm
move
willing to.
quickly.
And that's why I said I want to hear more dialogue on it. Maybe there's a viewpoint I haven't seen yet. But
Because
it
the shield
seems
generator that you're
pretty
targeting
black and white to me that this
lots
is a
of
step away
distortion
from the fundamentals, right?
So once the cooling units are out, that exposes the core to overheat, which means that you can attack it from the inside and also from exhaust ports on the outside of the station. This core is armored and just takes a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, the cool people. Happy birthday, I Luke.
Once the power core goes down, the turrets come down, and then the capital ships can get closer. Why is that important? Because during all of this, you spend a lot of ammo and munitions and ballistics, and you're going to want to top up.
This is where we're gonna get our new feature in: ship hangar refueling and rearming. You're gonna be able to land in the hangar of select ships and be able to use the same interface as you are right now at stations to refuel and rearm.
It's specifically for ships like the Idris and the Polaris and other ships that are designed to have other ships land inside them.
Of course, it'll be more than just those 2 ships, and you'll find out more once we get closer to release. But this is a really important feature that we're really excited
Yeah,
about.
they won't instance player bases.
If you're not bringing your own Idris, the People's Alliance has a Idris there that can provide a safe port.
I'm
in
not sure. That's a good
storm,
question.
allow you
I mean,
to
it looked like they were.
set back
Oh,
up
yeah,
and
because
head
you're
back
flying through it, right?
And it's a good thing that you've rearmed and refueled too, because now another group of ships is coming to attack the People's Alliance Idris. So while the fighters are protecting the Idris, what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
The only
Now
answer
you've
doesn't
got to
prove these
take
ships
a
polluting the
fighter
space
team
cringe.
in. You've got to land.
But don't you have
fight
spaceships?
through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station.
Actually, yeah, it looks like you do land.
After you've opened the doors and that person's taken off, you've just got to make sure they get to safety.
So at this point, all of this sounds pretty simple, but there's an additional complication.
So up until this point, it's just been you versus the enemies in the station. But the enemies in the station have their own enemies.
The Van Duel neighbors who really don't like these guys for some reason will come in and wreak havoc on everything.
And they're not going to discriminate between you and the station. They're out for blood. When you alert the Van Duel by destroying the power core that the station's now vulnerable, you're on a time limit. Van Duel are coming, they're going to come hard, they're going to keep coming, you're going to have one hell of a fight.
Is that the Mauler? Oh, Spectral to me now after that, yeah.
Tactical strike groups. I'm personally so invested in this. So throughout 2025, we created a variety of content. Some of it was very focused on FPS combat. So personally, driving a more vehicle-based experience was very important to me. This is a
Of course, but they run better environment-friendly versus... Ah, that's fair. Well, that's why the aliens came in and started shooting the humans.
Prized possessions. So the objects we fall in love with. This is the content we want to create, which creates scenarios and roles for you to use those spaceships. We won't get to all roles initially, but we should see this as a landmark, a position where we can see a gameplay space which incentivizes the use of different ships and scenarios to clear objectives and complete missions in a variety of roles. And in the future, we can use this to expand on. So I hope you're all just as excited as I am for tactical strike groups. They're gonna be fantastic.
The answer to make them understand.
Okay. Why do you still have the puppet? John, come home. All right, so tactical strike groups. You know, it's been a long road for the last 10 years that PU's been around. We've done lots to build stuff for mining ships and for salvage ships, and as Rich said, we're currently building out even more for those, and our first refueling missions coming online in 2026. But combat missions. Oh, hi, Aaron Roberts. Aaron Roberts.
Is that Chris Roberts' brother?
But finally having enough of the foundation in place that we can begin to build real spaceship operations, hesitate, you know, in any other MMO they'd call dungeons. It's really exciting for me, and that's why we're ending the show this year with that. So yeah, that's been CitizenCon Direct. Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. Again, this is just a glimpse at some of what's coming in 2026. I've seen the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat like, oh, you're spoiling everything. I promise, we ain't. So before we let you go, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as with every CitizenCon, the last word shouldn't be mine. It should belong to our founders and CEO. So take it away, Chris Roberts.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what the team is cooking for the near future. Of course, we're not going to spoil everything that's currently in progress, and many features we haven't discussed today are in active development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42
hey, thank you for the follow.
Universe, will make next year the most exciting yet for Star Citizen. Finally, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone at CIG for working so tirelessly and with so much passion to deliver something that is already special and will only get more so as we continue. And of course, to all of you for making all this possible with your support and feedback. We couldn't do this without all of you, something that I and the team appreciate every day. We are very lucky to be allowed the time and the money to build a game of all of our dreams, something that is only more apparent as the video game business becomes more monolithic. We are one of the few large independents left standing, and there is no way we would be allowed to dream as big as we are on an original game and take the time to achieve that dream if we were part or funded by any of the few remaining mega game companies. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the verse this coming year.
Is it them? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was very excited about the freaking Genesis stuff, but the instancing stuff really just like I don't know. I think this is probably the most critical I've ever been of the project in Star Citizen's future. I think that's hands down the most critical I've ever been. You did. Fortunately. Well, or fortunately, I don't know. Like I'm debating like just quickly turning on OBS recording and then making a video about that. Just hitting record and talking and seeing what comes out. Cause yeah, that was interesting. Again, if it turns out at the end of the day to be like 5%, and it's something that I really don't come across very often at all. Like I'm talking maybe twice a year kind of thing. Sure. But it's also part of the reason I would tell people the game is amazing is because I could say, hey, if something's happening for you, it's happening for me. If you go over there and drop this gun on the floor over there, I can go pick it up later. I don't know if that can happen anymore, if that area ends up being instanced. What if I walk in there and it's not there? Right? The Genesis stuff, very cool. But I wanted something on base building maybe. But the fact that it they brought up that instancing stuff, I'm just like, I can't trust that they won't go further. Hey Jack, thank you. Right, it's like that's the main thing. Like if you go look at any of my videos promoting the game, that's one of the core arguments I make for the game, because that's so different than every other game. Yeah, Bruce, they talked about instancing. Now, instancing won't just be in it won't just be in like dungeons. You could quantum into an area of space that is instanced without realizing you're jumping into an instanced space. Right? One of the big reasons SU was good is just you knew you weren't instanced. Like you had that risk factor inherently. And to me, it feels like a way out of either building systems to keep players safe, and putting it just like, oh well, we can't do it good enough, so let's make an instance area, or and it takes away from the element of me having to think, okay, if I'm going to this dangerous area and I'm getting goods, I'm going to bring my friend with me to protect me. Now I don't have to if I know the area is instanced, and it takes away from me being forced to exist in a sandbox universe. It's very upsetting. And then they had a whole section trying to gaslight us into saying that no, you were mistaken. You just didn't know the game design philosophy well enough. It's like, no, we know what the core selling point of it was, and has always been. And so the fact they had to make a section about that after, I think indicates to me they know what they're doing is against their core design philosophy. Yeah. Slightly disappointing, I would say. If I do say so myself. What's important is when I find a sandwich the bow left in Doyle's ship. I take it. Yeah, you take all the sandwiches. Well, you got to clean it up, right? That's all you're doing is you're cleaning it up. You're doing your part. Right, yeah, that's when you knew. You're like, okay, they know. So they're a little bit disappointing, to be honest, not gonna lie. And again, I've always had I'm still to this point trying to keep an open mind to it, right? I'm very forgiving on these things, but this one's been the most for me. That's the point. I think I'm gonna go quickly write a script, put a video together, and see what happens. See if I can make it worthwhile. Just say I get a Guardian drop, right? Again, keep an open mind. We'll let the discussion flow over the next couple weeks. See what people say. But I'm not. Well, here's the thing: is like they're gonna get people in. They're gonna find a new audience for it. It's gonna be PvEers, right? I do hope for the best, though. I do hope for the best, and maybe they realize what they've done and limit this back to just dungeons. Again, while I still don't like it, I'll turn my a blind eye to the dungeons. But my core argument is I don't want to accidentally end up in one of these spaces, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna go think about that. I'll put the video and I'll see if I can get some thoughts on it. But yeah, that's now I'm like, I was gonna make put out a video of like, oh hey, here's the top things that got announced at CitizenCon. But now I want to make a video about that. And you should always make videos about things you want to make videos about. So I think I might do that instead. Oh, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that. But again, the biomes looked really nice. I will say the Genesis looks amazing. It looks incredible. And maybe I can still look at the game as, hey, a base building game. And again, maybe it turns out it's only 5% of these spaces, and that usually it doesn't end up actually being a thing. But it just the fact it's now the line's been pushed makes it hard to trust that it won't get pushed further. That's kind of my core argument here. But anyways, I suppose that's it. I suppose we can sign off here. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you all for joining me. Blackout, have a good sleep. Thanks for hanging out with me the whole time. Tesla as well, and anyone else that was watching. Alu, good luck cleaning up all the space junk from humans. And one was happy Thanksgiving, happy Oktoberfest, happy birthday, chat. I'll probably see you, worst case, next Thursday, guys. Maybe sooner, we'll see. Either way, I'll see you in the Discord. For now, thank you for watching. Have a good night. And have a wonderful weekend. What's that thing I say? Keep gaming hard.